stable look about them. We're all set here for the start of Collingwood and Melbourne.
One of footy's great rivalry, Steins jumped early and gave away the free kick in his 10th anniversary game, and Monkhorst will take the kick in the middle for Collingwood. Straight down the corridor towards Rocker. Sab Rocker that was. Glenn Lovett. Was he tackled high? Umpire said yes. Moves it on quickly to Seacamp, who's been good the last couple of weeks. He finds Uze near the wing. Uze told to play on his favoured left foot. Schauble in front of Newton takes the mark.
Schauble's got Newton. Also, Mark Richardson's playing full back on David Schwartz.
Schauble, wing on the outer side, plays it on, gives it to Russell. Wasn't a great handball. Russell was put under pressure. It's taken him half an hour to pick it up. Woden dived in on top of the footy there, and umpire Chris Mitchell said, "I'll bounce it." But that's not a good sign that early.
It's interesting, isn't it, when Buckley's getting picked up by Woden, it really makes a short man, a forward player short for the Melbourne side, because he's just going to follow Bucks around as if he was playing up forward.
Wright was held before the ball got to him. Umpire didn't see it. Uze towards Gergic, took a finger tipper. Half forward flank, Southern stand side. Brett Lovett sprinted down for him. Kick towards Schwartz in the front spot. Punched away by Richardson. Watson in after it. Off the boot of Michael. Right. Richardson. It's a hot footy. Michael tries to break a tackle. That's holding the ball.
Great tackle.
Melbourne ferocious in their tackling.
Ian Collins is going to sit through with us for the rest of the day. Colo coming straight under the pump. What did you think of that decision?
I think the decision was okay, but I think Collingwood taking too many risks at this stage, and they should be trying to get boot the ball rather than some of these clever little handballs. I think they're putting themselves under too much pressure.
Ball cleared the pack there and just trickled over for a point. As Alan Jeans used to call it, it's like cricket. You've got to play a straight bat before you get your eye in. You just play man on man and try and beat them with just basic footy principles. When the game unfolds and a definite trend evolves in it, then you can start running off and fancying around by hand or foot.
Yes, I think they're taking too many risks too early, and they haven't settled down yet. A few nerves out there.
Master of the kick out, Nathan Buckley puts it on the chest of his skipper, Gavin Brown. Game 199 today. Monkhorst waited for it. Brett Lovett got in after it. Taylor for Collingwood bumped off it. Steins tries to kick off the ground. Bit of tunnel ball there from Uze. Brett Lovett back to McDonald. Seems to have recovered from the corky last week. Up to centre half forward. Michael goes the punch. Brown for the crumbs. Mark Richardson. Right. Russell link up in the midfield. Up to half forward. Anthony Rocker in front. Good hands. Got the gloves on. Moves it on quickly. Heads towards his brother, who picks it up. Williams. Gavin Krosiska. Scott Crow. Snaps from 35 metres. Which way will it bounce? It'll bounce truly. It's a goal. First blood to the Magpies.
Well, Barmy, the big link there is obviously the man at centre half forward, Rocker, being able to hold that mark in a kick coming down there, which probably could have gone either way.
It was a terrific effort actually for Rocker there. To take a mark against Neitz at any stage is a good job. What they've done is Taylor is sort of playing as a decoy centre forward, ran up through the middle, which left the space for Anthony, who's playing virtually halfway between full forward and centre half forward. So they're actually pretty well set up down here, and there's plenty of space to take advantage of. Hopgood is picking up Williams and made a good tackle home, but that'll be a big job for him.
Sixth in the best and fairest last year. Scott Crow gets the first goal of the game. Bit of a gentle nudge in the middle, and the free kick will go to Jimmy Steins.
Got a feeling that Monkey actually fell then and tripped into him, but it's still a free kick.
Melbourne moves it on quickly through Brett Lovett. Over the head of Schwartz. Sean Smith goes a big fly and takes a terrific grab.
This will be a good test for Mel, Michael, young Mel, because he's got a very good leap, Sean Smith, as we know, and Mel's ability really is to be able to get up high as well with the long telescopic arms. And it's interesting then with Lovett getting the ball off the back of the square. They've got Scotty Russell being the loose man as the ball was bounced to the middle of the square for Collingwood, and then Lovett's coming off the other end. So a bit damaging for Melbourne then.
Last time he didn't quite make the distance. This time kicking from a bit closer at 45, and he's kicked it straight as a guy.
Now, Ned, Mel Michael, he's the kind of bloke that at his age, he's naive in football terms, but he has got all that superb, gifted athleticism. He can jump high, but even then on the attempt to spoil, it was a big roundhouse right arm that really was a low percentage spoiling tactic. I mean, you've got to playing on somebody who's instinctive, so if anybody who outthinks him will do fairly well.
Yeah, exactly. You see, he actually just didn't time his jump properly and didn't get up well, so I think he was probably just off balance a bit there. And like you said, Dermy, a bit of experience. He's certainly come well, it's basically the position since I've left that they've had no one there probably for the last 2 or 3 years, since Gary Pert left as well.
A massive void to fill after Craig Kelly leaves anywhere.
Steins, big punch in the middle. Favours Russell.
We'll tend to see either the ball comes this way or the other way. It's really going to be the Lovett or Russell. Who's going to be the most damaging, Dermy?
Yeah, they're just playing opposite of each other behind the ruckman.
Well, that's 3 free kicks in ruck contests already.
Great
Watson
work.
going back with courage. Gergic's kick smothered. Farmer running through. Buckley got a fingertip on it. And the players dive on top of the ball. Yeah, interesting. 3 free kicks from ruck contests already in the middle of the ground. The umpire's trying to make a statement early.
Here's Shane Watson then. That was a great call, Pete, when he really had to go backwards, and he does that extremely well.
You like these bounce downs, Colo. You really,
Yes,
for
I
the
do.
bloke who loves the the clean part of football in this day and age, you were a little mongrel out there, weren't you?
Now, Derby.
Talk about the pot calling the kettle black. Buckley, was he held? Crowd thought so. Umpire didn't. Uze squares it to Brett Lovett. Monkhorst on the mark. Put it behind Seacamp, who's run down from defence. Short kick, Burns. Now can Collingwood rebound? They bring it up into the centre square. Francis. Good roving by Viney. He's got Brett Lovett in support. He steadies, measures his options and kicks it to Newton. 60 metres out. Wants to move it on quickly. Little chip kick towards Schwartz. Getting to the front spot, Richardson did well. Schwartz used his body well. Phoebe dived on top of it, flipped it out to Schwartz, threw it.
Well, Brett Lovett certainly had a lot more of it than Scotty Russell at the moment. It's been very, very damaging. Mark Richardson did really well then, Dermot, didn't he, getting in front? Criticism last week, Mark was perhaps not as switched on as he could have been when they played against Port Power.
Yeah, good sign there, because he will let some people lead him to the ball.
Ball went straight over the head of the pack and Gavin Brown was there. Chips a pass to Anthony Rocker. Hits him on the chest at 60. Francis running into the pocket is marked. So Rocker will kick it towards his brother who made a dummy lead. Then he kicks it over his head. It's a long kick. Brett Lovett goes back and marks on the kickoff line.
Really needed to read that one better, little man Francis.
I think Anthony kicked it to where he probably should have been. He really kicked it to where they couldn't have got it then.
Yep.
Phoebe in the back pocket. 7 minutes gone. Opening quarter. Crowd building up. Pretty close to 35, 40,000 here at the MCG for one of footy's traditional clashes. Kick to half back. Neats in his 100th game, using his body.
Pushing.
It's
that's
just a
50
hand
surely.
thing, Colo, now, isn't it? I
Yes,
mean,
it is, yeah.
you still can use your body, and even with the hands, as long as it's not an elongated or an actual wrap as a push, you can still...
And also, provided you don't push them in the back, you push on the side. But
Yep.
I think he's trying to demonstrate now that he did push in the side, but I think the umpire will win on that one, don't you?
and we saw it
They
slightly
always
differently
do.
too.
Yes.
They always do, Colo.
Like Colo, Ned, this bloke has fined me that many times, I can't win against him.
Monkhorst in the pocket. Steins maybe the hand over the shoulder. Wild off the left. Centres it. Francis from the back made a contest of it. Lovett ran back into traffic. Seacamp. Very hot footy. Hopgood couldn't get his foot to the ball. Obbs did. And only cleared the zone as far as Shawball, who can chip it short to Monkhorst in the pocket.
Barmy just said Tony Francis really played for free kick. One of the problems, I reckon, when he starts doing that early in the game, he'd do it for the whole game. The umpires just switch onto him straight away, and they don't actually pay the free kick when he deserves it.
Well, I must admit, I hate blokes playing for frees because they take themselves away from the ball. It's an all or nothing play. The interesting thing here, Monkey's pushed right down forward. It's twice now he's been the target for the kick where you've had the two Rockers virtually run away from it. So I think they're probably trying to test Jimmy.
Barmy, there's only 2 players forward of the centre, so they're all pushing down into Collingwood's forward line.
Yes.
Both Melbourne and...
I presume Melbourne would be dictating that, wouldn't they?
Yes, I would think so, trying to cover all options there and make it very crowded.
I think Collingwood always tend to chip pretty well, particularly from that was a low percentage shot for goal, and they all pushed down to cover the spaces. I think they did that pretty well.
Scores level at the 9.5 minute mark of the first quarter. Kick in goes from Phoebe to Hopgood. He's got Glenn Lovett in short. He'll go longer than that to half back, Members side. Big pack.
They certainly locked the ball in pretty well in Collingwood. There was really almost no option there apart from a long kick or the real short.
Francis off the ground. It's not far away. What about that? Peter Dacos ate your heart out.
Maradona.
That's amazing, Ned. You know the little fella. You played a lot of footy with him, and he is a confidence player. That can do wonders for him, that.
Oh, it's been that's a great comment, Dermy, because the game you played there, you'd notice as soon as he gets sat on or he gets down in the first quarter, he really struggles. But that was an amazing goal. I've seen that on the replay, and do his confidence no end of good.
Well, I must be in the middle of a bunch of Collingwood supporters, which is not a pleasant place to be because I can't hear a thing when they kick a goal. But Melbourne have got to be dead stiff. 2 goals already have kicked that. Peter Dacos wouldn't have probably kicked that last one. But having said that, Tony has got lovely skill. He's a bit lucky for it to go through. But I wish this mob here would be quiet. I suppose it'd be quiet if Melbourne kicked the goal.
Francis, after kicking that miraculous goal, Wild first to it. Steins applies the pressure. Obst turns around back onto the right, heads towards Sean Smith and Michael. Shawble's at the back.
Well, work by Michael then, just to work Smith out of the play and let Shawble run onto it.
Russell's handball not good. Crow, good pressure there. And the ball goes out of bounds on the full.
It was good pressure, and it was good reading by Schwabel also to realise that Michael was going to do that. But really great pressure by Melbourne to put them off balance and kick it out in the full.
Phoebe's kick towards the 50-metre arc. Shawble's second hands to it. Monkhorst twisting and turning only as far as his opposition in Steins. His handball towards Gergic.
He's gaining confidence, that boy Gergic. He's just getting a little bit better feel for
Farmer.
This will, sorry, Dermy, but this is going to be the real test for Gavin Brown. He perhaps likes a player where he can find the body. He doesn't like there he let Charles jump at it. You cannot let a Charles jump at it. We've seen in a number of weeks, the weeks we've had him, is his ability to get up, and he's got terrific hands.
Barmy, his hands have become very good over the last month, Sean Charles, above his head.
Oh, he's missed a lot of footy. The last game that these two played, Brown was probably BOG against Charles, so maybe Collingwood will think they can get away with him, but Charles had virtually played no footy up until then. He'll be a different kettle of fish today. He's so quick, and as you see, he's a beautiful jump at the ball. I'd just like to see him play to his potential. We'd have a big day today.
No problem with Sean Charles there, sticking that one through for his first one for the afternoon.
And the contrast, the way they've got the goals between the two teams has been totally different, hasn't it?
Yep.
2 great marks for Melbourne, and Collingwood have bounced both theirs through from long way up.
Yep.
My apologies to Sean Charles there. I called him the other one, Farmer, who's missing today, of course. The 2 wizards up forward for Melbourne. Got a brilliant mark.
We knew who you meant.
Was it a bit quieter down there that time, Barmy?
Well, far quieter.
Back in the centre. Monkhorst didn't get the tap, but leant down, picked the ball up. Shocking bounce for Taylor, favoured Viney, gave it to Lovett, look out. Scott Crow nearly had him.
He's a hard worker, Crow.
Chance here for the Magpies. Wild doesn't know what to do with it. Held onto it for a long time. Handball finds Williams. He wheels around, gives it back to Monkhorst. At 55, kicks towards Francis. That'll be a free kick anyway, or a mark.
Very good kick by Monkhorst there. In this era, the ruckman, about 10 years ago even, you'd try and keep the ball away from your ruckman to kick forward by foot. But the ruckman these days, that was a sensational kick. Wasn't actually directed at the little man there, Francis. It was put out in the path of Severio Rocca leading onto it, who would have marked it on his chest quite simply.
Derby, it was great to see David Schwartz ran all the way down, which he hasn't done for a number of weeks, has he?
Yeah, Tony was nearly killed. He's nearly squashed between Schwarter and Sav Rocca. He's very lucky to have a kick. But it was a wonderful tackle from Crow. The handball to G. Lovett was right. It was really one of those special tackles out of nowhere that set that goal up, or that shot for goal up.
Monkhorst started off pretty well. I think he's had about 5 possessions already. So
yeah, he's getting a bit of it. I'll tell you what's happening. I can see it from up here, up a lot higher at the moment. It's Collingwood's forward line, starting from the full forward up to the centre half forward, and then they're out wide. It's like points of the compass. They're in a star shape, and then Anthony Rocca right in the middle of them. They're all on like points of the compass, situated in the forward line, with a lot of distance between them.
Glenn Lovett gave it to Ingerson in the back pocket. Southern stand side. Rocca in the front spot. Steins bats it down. Boundary umpire called upon to do his thing.
At the Melbourne end, Ned, you've got Smith in the goal square, and there's a congregation of about 3 or 4 players all right on the back of the square, on the front of the square at centre half forward. Yeah,
David Schwartz is slowly moving down back towards his sort of halfway out between 50 and the goal square.
Stein's wrapped up in the tackle by Scott Russell, and umpire said holding the ball. Russell's been busy in the early part.
Pat that one up, Collo.
Anthony Rocker.
Yes, I think he threw it actually.
Now advantage paid here, and this is going to be a simple goal for Collingwood. Sav Rocker right in front, got the handball from Scott Burns. Well, there's that contentious advantage rule again. A lot of those players stopped.
Yes, I must say, I think the umpire shouldn't be allowed to blow the whistle unless he's actually going to stop the play, and I understand what the concept of advantage is. It was a good crumb by Crowe and good hands by Burns to finish, or for Sav to finish with a goal. That's important for Rocker as well. He again is a confidence player. Kicking a goal out of that, which is really a cheap one for him, is pretty important for him.
Yeah.
Now, for the viewers at home, you'll see here Scotty Russell. He's coming off what we say the back of the square, which the Collingwood defence side, and we see Glenn Lovett's coming off, or it's Brett Lovett now, I think, coming off the other side. And
Glenn.
It's Glenn, is it? And
yeah,
it really, like we're saying, it's really a 50-50 thing, but if you get a lot of the ball, it can be very attacking.
Glenn Lovett's hand pass back towards Seacamp, bumped off it by Crowe, but Brett Lovett charges through a pack, makes a path, kicks towards half forward. Schwartz.
Good kick.
Couldn't quite grab it. Obbs can. Chips a pass in towards Smith. Oh, gee.
Isn't that a great man?
He just hangs there, doesn't he?
And he attacked it pretty hard.
I mean, and also, just Shane Watson again going back into the space. That's the hardest thing for a forward to do, isn't it, Dermy? Run into a player you know is coming back the other way, and he just had his eyes for the ball. Fantastic.
Absolutely, Ned. I mean, it takes courage to run back with the flight of the ball, and sure, Shane Watson has got a heap of it. But a lot of the time, when you're the leading forward, it does go through your mind. He's running back with the flight of it. His objective, perhaps on this occasion, is not the ball, and it takes courage to run. Yeah.
Whenever you were coming, everyone knew exactly what they were thinking.
But it does take courage to run at the ball when you know somebody's running back with the flight of it, and sole purpose, intent, is spoiling you and the ball.
Terrific shot from behind here of what Sean Smith has in front of him. Slight angle. He'll kick from just inside the 50-metre mark for his second goal. And he's got it.
Dangerous signs when you see this guy getting up and really jumping at it, and once again he fell on the ground and sort of half hurt himself. His other wrist, he's grabbing that now, but yeah, I mean, it's dangerous when he's starting. One of the young blokes there again having something written on their arm, you might have been able to pick that up, but it was a great grab.
I remember a few weeks ago Daniel Chick from Hawthorn wrote his objectives on the back of his hand, so one of the Melbourne boys has got it as well, Ned.
Yeah, I'm just trying to pick out, I've got binoculars on it, I'll try and pick out what it says. I love my mum or something like that, perhaps.
Might have something like, take no notice of Kelly's comments. No, Ned, you're brilliant at it, and we look forward to hearing more of them today.
Oh, yeah, keep going.
Ned used to write, in case of loss, please return to Collingwood Football Club. Centre bounce. Oh, Burns finished up cleaning up Shawbull. It's pretty tough in the clinches. Wild. Gergic charged into the middle of the pack. Krosiska gets a little toe poke, but it favours Melbourne. Seacamp first to it. Gives it to Glenn Lovett. Turns back inside. Looking for a more direct approach to goal. Sean Smith couldn't get the leap going this time. Little kick off the ground by Woden, and it finds the boundary line.
Woden's done well so far, Dermy, on Bucks. Is really quite playing him very smart, not going to him sometimes, playing a bit off him and just reading the play as well.
Obviously, you know, if you've got the ball or you're leading, your counterpart Buckley has to be accountable for you. Look, he's even running away from it here, and Woden going with him, so he's doing a good job.
McDonald, can he keep it in the Peter Bell pocket?
And Paul Williams has run all the way down. It looks like Hopgood's picking him up, so Willow's used to getting sat on. It'll be a good test again for Hopgood, being able to run with a guy who can run all day like Paul Williams.
Collo, it's pretty tough out there, and we know you were the nasty little back pocket. What do you prefer, out in the ground or in the hurly-burly of the boardroom these days?
Oh, I think you can let your everything go out on the field. You've got to keep yourself in check in the boardroom, but it's quite interesting at this stage of the game. Buckley still hasn't had a possession, which Yeah, long time since he's gone this long in a game without having a kick.
Well, it's interesting, Colo. The mail was that the umpires sent a little note out to all the clubs that they're going to be hard on ruck infringements this week. It seems to say that's all they're going to pay. We've got 3 or 4 already.
Well, it's good to see that when they do give the notice that they're following it through out on the ground, because sometimes they've been sending out notices to the clubs and nothing's been happening at that weekend round of games.
Fair call.
But what about that free kick? I mean, you reckon that one was on? Is that a cheap shot at goal?
Well, it is. But
well, as it
I don't
turned out, it
be
didn't
too
matter.
hard on him, no.
He just pulled a little bit to the left. Shane Watson trying to break up the zone, going to go long over the top.
Kicks it towards the centre square. Monkhorst might have been held.
Actually, the intent of Monkhorst there was just to knock the ball on over. You see the Collingwood players ran to the attacking side of that intended pack.
Spills to Wild. Good spoil by Seacamp at the back of Taylor. Crow with a second chance. Goes long into the pocket. Ingerson led Rocker out. Francis there to do the roving. He's in this pocket again. Can he make it 2 miraculous goals?
he did a Wayne Harms there, didn't he? He ran back and tried to keep it in. Right over the boundary line, but he was spotted.
He's certainly very quick, Francis. He's perhaps a little quick for Steve Phoebe. Steve's a very smart player, but he's got to make sure that he stops you from getting past him. But one interesting thing too, when Krasiska kicked that little kick off the ground forward before, you can't be doing that if you're allowing the other side to have players behind the play.
Melbourne have taken Gergikov and James McDonald on.
Rocker. Clever tap to Francis. Anthony Rocker spilt the mark. Wild's in on the bottom of the pack.
And
Umpire
Buckley's
will
drifted
bounce.
down.
It's very unusual at this stage to see number 54 come onto the field, isn't it? You know, 42 on the list, and of course you've got supplementary and rookie players now, so they've finally got to 54.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be holding that one next year.
Glenn Lovett. Burns a chance. Good smother by McDonald. Great defensive stuff. Takes a bounce. Got some attention after he kicked. Schauble in the front spot. Good hands.
Schauble's just got that little bit more pace and mobility to get to the contest where Newton can't at the moment.
Got around Newton. The 2 Rockers flew. Viney, well tackled by Wild. Rocker gets rid of Brett Lovett. Taylor throws it onto his boot, only as far as Neeks at half back.
Poor kick. He probably had more time than he really thought he did there, and he could have made a better advantage of that kick.
100 games today for David Neitz. Schwartz leads in the race. Ball spills down to the ground. Well done by Seacamp.
Good thinking.
McDonald to half forward. Well, that's great use of the body by Newton.
That's when Newton's going to do well. When the ball gets bombed on top of them and he can stand tall against Schauble, he'll do very well. When the ball comes in relatively quickly and it's reliant on their foot speed to get to the ball, Schauble will beat him.
Bombs it towards the top of the square, a little bit shy of that. Uze, well pressured out of it. Williams, Charles diving in. Young James McDonald in there. Burns had it for a while.
It's good to see Burnsy back, Pete. He's had a lot of groin problems, and he's last week he had 25 odd possessions, and they're starting to get back into it.
Scotty Russell driving it up to Scotty Crow on the half forward line, and Burns was in the forward pocket on the last passage of play, so he's run the length of the ground. He's got a bit of scope to move up and down.
Open forward line for Collingwood.
Good kick.
Anthony Rocker is the target. Used his body well and took a slips catch.
Yeah, you could just see that, Barmy. He just put it out to that side and was banking on the fact that Rocker would be able to hold out his opponent and then fall to that side.
It looked like not predetermined, but it was and he's very strong in this Rocker. He's not perhaps renowned for being as aggressive as he should be, but I think he might have even sort of hurt Nita in that.
It is
shoulder, yeah.
It is predetermined, Barmy.
Yeah.
They've got a set play where they try and kick to the opposite side of the ground and just waited over there. But they tried to do it a few times with Dermy were there, but he didn't get near it.
Well, here's the shot for goal. This is a very important shot for goal. A fair income shot for goal. This one, not one of those trick ones.
Call it home, Barmy.
I reckon he's missed. I can't be unhappy because there's not a big noise.
Yeah,
But,
I think what happened there with Nietzsche, you called it he was hurt. He had the hands on the knees then when he was standing on the marker. He might have been, and I've had it a few times, a few of you blokes would as well, when you get bumped and you're actually breathing out at the time. Do they hurt?
Yeah, he might have just caught him off guard. They're looking for the kick in here. The interesting thing, as Ned's called it, is that there's what's going to happen with if you let Scotty Russell run free, which now they put young Macca on him, he's going to get the footy, and if you pick him up, he probably doesn't get it too much, so there's a decision that needs to be made. Here's the kick-off.
24 minutes gone first quarter. Buckley and Williams, 2 possessions between them. Neats, good hands at the front.
I think he's okay, Neats.
Towards Steins. Rocker's chasing him. Just had one hand on the Guernsey. Steins got it off though. James McDonald up towards the attacking 50, and Brown leading Charles to the ball. Takes the mark and takes off. Got the shepherd from Richardson. Doesn't know what to do with it. Richardson will need to kick it.
Good shepherd, Tony Francis. It was good work. Just gave him a bit of time to get rid of the ball.
Copped a heavy one too, Francis, from Charles. Watson.
Played for that.
Viney.
Trouble here on the rebound.
Phoebe.
A beautiful handball from Jimmy then. Beautiful handball.
Hit Newton on the chest at 50.
It even started, I mean, I know the kick that eventually went to Watson was pretty poor, but Richardson's kick forward before that, he's very slow hand to foot, and when he's put under pressure, they turn out to be half mongrel kicks, and that's really where it started to break down.
And they put themselves under pressure a bit.
Yep.
Brownie tried to play on. He perhaps should have just steadied up a little bit and looked for the switch of play.
No side has kicked 2 in a row in this game so far. Newton to attempt it for Melbourne.
Oh, it's hit the post. It's interesting. A number of times, actually, Schwartz has led Richo to the ball, which is the first time for a number of weeks I've seen that happen. So Richo's really got to, he did it early, but he's got to switch on and start watching the ball and moving before it actually he thinks he is going to move, and making a sort of reflex movement before he actually thinks he has to go.
Now, obviously, this kick in, they went long last kick in from Watson. He played on, and Monkhurst tried to knock the ball on, so they'll probably go short this time to try and break him up a bit.
Wilder now try and go over the top.
Back to Watson, look out. It's not working, and James McDonald might make them pay. He snaps on the right foot.
Oh, well done.
Kicks the goal.
What a great start for the boy there. He got his first kick going from the wing before, a little bit of a half mongrel, but second kick in league footy through for a goal. That's a wonderful feeling.
Well, I said a few weeks ago, Geelong, when the Pies were playing Geelong, Nathan Buckley went down forward and they had to get another kicker, designated kicker, and now Shane Watson kicking in here, and they've really made a mess of this, the old boys. And
but Craig, the real problem being that Collingwood have got no flow to their game at all, and they're trying to make things happen with their handball, and they're handballing to stationary targets.
Yeah, good point.
They're really putting themselves under pressure.
You should be a coach, Collar.
He's the back pocket. They all were coaches.
Port Melbourne days.
Melbourne leads by 6 points. Deep in the first quarter, Viney charging through, as he always does. Off to Woden off his left leg. Watson went for the spoil from behind McDonald, then good enough to recover. Threw it on his left. Buckley, the big fly. Woden in front of him took the mark. Crowd calling for 50. Umpire said no.
How long's your coach at Port, Collo?
Couple of years down there, Dermy.
2 was enough?
Yes.
Woden a long kick. Schwartz in the front spot. Here's McDonald again. Monkhorst. Hand passes, he fell. McDonald, Schwartz. Good smother, Shawball, and bats it to the boundary line. Good defence.
Andrews started very, very well. I think we saw a game where he got very severely hurt. I think it was against Essendon in the ribs, and spent a number of weeks on the sidelines. Really starting to get back into a bit of form the last week or so.
Ned, he's actually been swapped over now and to go pick up David Schwartz.
That's right, yep. And Richo's gone on
to Newton.
Well done by James McDonald. Little tap to Glenn Lovett, but it's wrapped up on the boundary line, and after what happened last night, I think that's a try. So Collingwood has just won 1 of 7 when trailing at quarter time.
Well, a bit of a dust up on the wing there in the bottom of the screen.
Well, Woden's done a terrific job on Buckley, hasn't he?
Melbourne player down here in this dust up.
Yes, and the emergency umpires out there.
We'll keep an eye on that. Buckley going back. Took him a while to pick it up. Eventually kicks it away. Ball towards the boundary line. Now the Melbourne player that was hurt is Hopgood. Now he and Williams, we saw about 20 seconds before that, had plenty to say to each other.
I think Williams used some old style Collingwood tactics.
Do you care to elaborate, Barney?
No.
Glenn Lovett slipped over, had the presence of mind to knock it up to Steins. Off the left, Newton in the front spot. Sean Smith off the ground.
Well, 2-1 in favour of Collingwood, but that was no one of those goals, just reflex actions. Sean It's been very, very
Could
dangerous.
have a bit of a problem here on the wing in a moment. Is there 6 there, Barmy? Can we call that a melee?
Oh, it's a decent melee.
We're looking for some dollars.
Oh, Marcus Seacamp getting acquainted there in a la Liverpool fashion.
Free kick been paid out of the centre.
Yeah, that would have been against the Seacamp misdemeanor there, but
Yes.
Scotty Burns,
Yes!
Run down from behind.
Well, it's a real old-style Collingwood-Melbourne clash now. Krasiska's kick. Anthony Rocker could have taken it, decided to flick it on. It didn't work. Viney off to Obst.
And we need Anthony Rocker to be taking the ball and giving it off there. That was pretty ordinary.
Yep.
Watson went back. Here's Buckley. Drives it long. Anthony Rocker in the front, doing the roving Taylor. Absolutely unaware that Seacamp was behind him and he's pinged.
It's a great effort by Seegers because he's had the free plate against him, and that's hard sometimes to deal with, and he's chased him down and made a wonderful tackle. That's good work.
Watson charging from the back, punches the ball away. Steins off the deck. Buckley on his chest. Be interesting to see what happens now. The siren's gone. Let's see if any of the boys decide to go on with it, because temperatures have risen out there. Hopgood and Williams again.
It's interesting, Dermy. I remember last year, I don't know, the first game we played last year, we beat Melbourne convincingly. Second game, the Melbourne side came out very similar to this and really got cranked.
Chad Liddell's come on.
Chucky Liddell playing at centre-half forward, the decoy centre-half forward.
Jason Taylor off for the start of the second quarter. Monkhorst went early. Crow trying to paddle it along in front of him. Got his toe to it, and it finished with Scott Burns, who just throws it on his foot and kicks it up towards Sab Rocker.
Big Savaloy got his 110 kilogram frame right off the ground there, and good grab. It's good to see both the boys. They haven't been kicking that well over the last week or so, but really starting to hit the ball and marking the ball in front of their eyes, and that means their hands are out there and they're very strong and very hard to spoil.
But it was nice and direct too, out of the centre, wasn't it?
Scotty Burns,
down there quickly.
yeah, he's really been missing from the Collingwood team, so to speak, with injury over the last 8 weeks, where they've only won 1 game. He comes back into it. They're a much better looking unit.
Ned, you're right behind this. Take us through.
And he's pushed it to his right, which he's done nearly every time he's kicked the last few weeks. I spoke to him on Friday saying that normally if he goes back quickly, turns around and just kicks it without thinking too much, he tends to kick a bit straighter. But I think he's just trying to think too much about the system rather than just getting back and bang out.
Ken Judge, I reckon, was the best set shot I saw for goal, and he said if you try and think too greatly about it, you're taking away from your natural abilities that just go back and kick the ball through the goals.
Oh, well done. They've got a great, I mean, the Collingwood setups as they kick in and themselves, and also the zones they create for other sides. Very hard to get through. There's not too many sides that can get it out easily.
Yeah, from the goal square, the first line of players, there's 3 across there, about 20 metres, about 35 out, they have 4, and then ringing the 50, they've got another 4 out there for the long kick. So it is pretty hard to penetrate.
Krasiska breaks a tackle. Wild missed it. Went to Viney. Off to Brett Lovett. Into the middle of the ground. Gavin Brown takes a good mark on the hard pan in the centre.
Don't know what the kicker was thinking there, Lovett.
Schwabel's on, switch of play.
Lateral kick. Schwabel's got it. Moves it on. Just got his kick away in time to nobody in particular. Good spoil by Rocker in the end. Almost hit Ingerson on the chest, but the big fella did well to make a contest.
What happened then is that as Schwabel came back inside, too much pressure, he was actually going to go out to the open air on the other side of the ground where Savard led to, and was forced to hook it back. And that gave Ingerson the ability to get back to almost take the mark.
Yeah, young McDonald forced him to kick quickly.
Viney, that was not very subtle, but disguised enough.
That was deliberate, Colo, wasn't it?
I thought it was deliberate, but not according to the umpires. But I think it was very clever the way he did it, actually.
We're going to put you on the pump today. I love it.
That's all right.
Throw in just inside Collingwood's attacking 50. Members side. Steins has been doing pretty well at the boundary throw ends. Look at Viney. He is a terrier. Glenn Lovett. Hand pass to Brett Lovett. Steins. Seacamp. Somehow they get out of it. They did very well. Viney with the last kick. Ball batted down. Woden doing very well on Buckley. His left foot kick towards Schwartz, trying to run Richardson under the ball. Richardson goes back. Little grubber kick. He looks for the boundary, but he won't find it. Obst is going to grab it, and he can kick it back into the pocket. Charles advancing. Burns got back and did well.
Yes, they pushed back pretty well, Burns, to get in front there. It was was a pretty good kick from Woden in front of Schwartzy, but he just wasn't quite able to get out. It was pretty good defence from Richardson, really.
Melbourne's got a loose man, Hopgood, running down into the goal square, but Williams is about to man him up.
I think Hobby's trying to get him into a dark spot.
Scott Crowe got the handball. Quick left foot kick, but he didn't really kick it to anyone. Can Liddell do anything? No, Phoebe did well.
4-on-2 situation there for the Melbourne Demons, so they're outnumbering Collingwood at the fall of the ball at the moment.
Brett Lovett and Steins waxing. Schwartz had to turn around to finally grab it, but grab it he did.
Well, I mean, I just can't understand, Barmy, how a guy like Richardson can let Schwartz get that far away from him, really.
Well, the circumstance there was pretty well set up from upfield. It's fairly hard to cover everything, but what Collingwood have got to decide is whether they want to let Brett Lovett get the ball all day.
Yeah.
And I mean, he can use it so beautifully. This is exactly what he loves to do to play, and it just opens up the other side of the ground. So he's put the ball in front of Schwartz, made it. He tried to miss it, but almost impossible for him to miss. So
fair to say, Barmy, that Lovett thinks his way through traffic very, very well, but he's just foot speed. If you sit on him, you chop him out of the game.
That's true. Let's have a look at the shot at goal as he's put it through. A beautiful kick.
Collingwood, if they're going to fill up the Melbourne forward line, they're going to have to push down a lot quicker on the breaks, which they haven't been doing, really. And it allows Melbourne to just bring the ball back in as they want.
It's Russian roulette, Collo, isn't it? It's one or the other. And I think, whilst you'd be worried about Scotty Russell getting the ball too much on his own, Brett Lovett is probably even as damaging, if not more, at the moment. Certainly Melbourne are better at bringing the ball into their forward line than Collingwood have been by the extra setup behind the game.
Well, Collingwood runner Mark McEwen running Paul Williams away from the centre of the ground now, getting him down to full forward.
And the boundary umpire, one on the bench, has run all the way out just to do his half little job. He'll run backwards on for sure. Here he goes.
Oh, Viney and Wright came together in the middle of the ground. Crowe had it for a long time. Umpire said held to him.
Geez, good Viney. I wouldn't like to play ahead of him and lead to him because I don't think he spots it up that well by foot. But I tell you what, just to be in the same team, knowing that you've got a bloke giving efforts like that, he is just one solid character.
It's interesting with Williams down here full forward, obviously try and exploit his leg speed onto Hopgood and lead hard at the ball.
8 possessions at 88%. That was a push by Monkey. Can't do that in front of the umpire, and Steins will take the free.
Another rack infringement.
You're right under that, Collo. I reckon that's your directive. You've given it to the umpire's directors to pass it on.
Punch from the back by Shawbull. Uzaid flicks it back. Glenn Lovett got a terrible bounce. Got a good shepherd though. He had it for a while. Bats it towards the boundary line. Over it goes in front of Uzaid.
Some good tackling then by the Collingwood boys. It's a pretty willing game. The interesting thing is that I think Collingwood have allowed Melbourne to take the initiative with most of the movement here, which is probably why they're in front.
6.5 minute mark in the second quarter, and there's 29 tackles already. Hefty bump on Buckley there.
They're not going to let him get into the play, are they?
No.
Sean Smith almost. That was a sleeper hold put on Obst. Spilled to Scott Russell, who's grabbed again. Had a while. Crowe, Miss Michael. Viney charging through, got rid of Schwartz in the end and went back and got it himself. Here's a marvel. Into the pocket. Richardson and Newton. Battle of the big men. Richardson appeared to have the slipper held. Boundary umpire on the spot, he'll throw it in.
It's just wonderful work by Viney, isn't it? He's such a Trojan for this side. Terrific stuff, sets it up. But B. Lovett started that little bit of play again. They've got to think about that. Russell seems to be a bit closer to him now.
Once again, Viney there, I mean, just split it open. And he should have really hit him on the chest. Should have dropped the kick a little bit shorter and made Newton come towards him.
It's coming around from Schwartz into the goal square. Sean Smith at the back. Obst. Sean Smith again.
He's kicked it, I reckon.
No,
it should
just
be a goal
missed.
umpire. Just missed. Good effort. He's playing good footy, Sean Smith again. That was a terrific. He almost marked it, and then to recover it and get it on the ground and almost kick a goal, he's in pretty good shape at the moment.
Smile from Matty Rendell in the coaching box, and I think G. Lyon almost cracked it for a smile there.
Schwartz is starting to get a few kicks too, which makes it a lot more difficult for Collingwood. He's opening up the forward line pretty well.
Let's just see what Bucks is trying to do. He's having a good look. Melbourne have got it pretty well covered. They're not conceding the short at this stage. They've got probably Brownie. 4 or 5 across the front. They'll want it. They'll have to go long, perhaps to Monkey here, I think.
Told to kick it, and he does. Towards Williams. Monkey chips in. Free kick found, and it'll go to Williams.
Holding on.
Russell off the left. Not a great kick. Favoured Seacamp over the head of Liddell.
That's just one classic situation there where foot pace is the winner in league football. Liddell had the break on him, but Seacamp made it up and actually beat him to the ball.
Sav Rocket tapped it down to his brother Anthony. Then he put it on the ground. Can he pick it up? No. Well, Ingerson got in and made the contest.
Well done, Ingerson, because that was, I thought, was a certain goal. Great tap down by Rocker, as you called, Pete.
Good mark by James McDonald.
He's got lovely talent, this little kid.
How big is he, Barmy?
Oh, he'd be short 6 foot, maybe 5'10 and a half, 5'11 probably.
Hopgood did well. Got it off to Phoebe, who got it to Glenn Lovett.
That is a short 6 foot, isn't it? 5'10".
Oh, he'd be 6'1 at Collingwood probably.
He'd be in the ruck at Collingwood.
Sure, with a big punch
tell
now.
you what, there's something happening off play here between Uze and Wright. Fair income stuff as well.
And there's a free kick being plucked out of it, and it'll go to Wright. Not much in this.
Plucked is a very good term.
Oh, I was watching that, Barmy. There was something went on then.
Yeah, but against one bloke or the other, that's what always annoys me.
Yeah, too true.
Beautiful use of the body again by Seacamp. Just got that tiny little nudge, got his opponent under the ball, and he's been very good for Melbourne the last few weeks. Centres the kick. Russell had to wait underneath it and showed courage to do so.
It's a terrific mark by Scotty then, a terrific mark. It's very hard to stand your ground in those circumstances.
Right, trajectory of a skyrocket, that kick. Obbs went a big fly. Buckley, terrible bounce. Mightn't be his day. Francis got it to Scott Crow. He's in the centre square. He can come towards Matty Francis and Seacamp, and this time the umpires pluck one out, little hold of the jumper.
Yeah, Liddell went off. Matty Francis come on, try and give a bit more height because he's just getting outmarked like we called a couple of times.
When that ball came up there, it was lucky that he laid we got the free kick there. They were outnumbered severely, Collingwood. Melbourne have had twice as many possessions as Collingwood.
That was kick here.
Oh.
Played it to Melbourne.
Played against it, Scotty Burns. I mean, I didn't see that one. He just had his arm against him. Oh, he's paid 50 metres as well. He must have said a couple of words to the umpires. They're very sensitive people.
We just saw on the top of the screen there that Burns appeared to be getting in the way of his opponent, and it's cost Collingwood 50.
It's extraordinary, though, isn't it, to pick something as insignificant as that and all of a sudden...
Failed to give the ball back.
Phoebe with the kick. Defensive side of the centre square. Kick went 50 metres because he cleared the square. Richardson, Williams nearly got wrapped up by Sean Smith. Off to Russell, finding space.
And this is where Williams has to chop him up and just run the length of the ground and beat the ball down to the other end. That's where his value, if he starts getting sucked in and having to fight around his way around the ground,
Watson's
playing into him.
Sorry, Derm. Watson's kick to Buckley was terrible. Missed the target from 12 metres away, and Buckley is not happy about it.
Their foot and the handball skills have been far off the target today, haven't they? They really just haven't been anywhere near good enough at this level of football.
No.
Tap by Steins. Glenn Lovett again. There's that little nudge, and Michael able to run Smith under the ball.
Anthony Rocker's on here.
Scott Russell gives it to Anthony Rocker, who takes the mark at 60. He's not too far out.
Not for him anyway.
Play on now.
Oop.
Hook the kick. And the mark taken in defence by Phoebe.
They zoned up extremely well then, Dermot. They really focused on taking the gap out of, or the space for Rocker to run, Sav Rocker to run into.
But Anthony Rocker was far too slow getting the ball on there. He could have gone 2 or 3 seconds before he did.
Brett Lovett across the face to Ingerson. Rocker chases him. Ingerson to Woden at half back, leading Buckley a merry dance today.
Just get the feeling, Barmy, this kid could someday end up being captain of the club that way, Woden. He's got all the right traits.
Oh, he's a terrific kid, got a great attitude. It's interesting on Bucks where when he tried to get that short kick before, because he's so tied up in getting the footy, he's probably drawn the ball before where he shouldn't have drawn it.
Yeah.
Barmy, where did you find Woden?
Oh, he's an East Fremantle kid.
I understand that, but how come you picked him up and you've been overlooked by many other clubs?
Oh, just fantastic judges.
Yeah, because Hawthorn get all the East Fremantle players.
Well, that's what we thought, yeah. I think they had their quota.
Newton's got the ball on the wing.
Lovett's on.
Little chip kick goes to Hopgood instead. Buckley takes the mark. Melbourne just slowing it down. Collingwood has won more second quarters than any team in the competition, and they're going to need to hurry to win this one. Lovett, Glenn Lovett that is. Gets around his opponent in Tony Francis. Brown was all over Charles, but it didn't make any difference.
Just worked very well to the front. There was a little bit of body work go off about 2 metres before the intended spot where they were going to mark the ball there, Barmy.
Yeah, it's interesting, the Charles Brown thing, where I mean, Charles is an extraordinarily talented kid and he can do most things. I think they might have perhaps underestimated him a little bit. Well, putting Brown on him doesn't mean they're underestimating him. I wouldn't think. He's a great player, Gavin.
True. You ride this one in, mate. You're directly behind.
Close enough. He looks like he's going to kick it to me. He's got a goal written on his. Might be just through. Beautiful kick. Beautiful kick.
Well, that's a good class mark there. I mean, Gavin Brown, pound for pound, even the people at Collingwood will tell you, is it just about as hard a man in the league to play on, and especially to mark overhead against in a one-on situation. That's a fantastic effort.
He's a genuine talent, this boy. We haven't seen much of it yet, but he is a genuine talent.
That was a long goal. It was well outside the 50 metres when he kicked it.
Well, he can do everything.
The real danger signs here for the Pies, Pete Donegan, and not a great deal of a smile on your face at the moment.
Not yet, but there's a long way to go, Derm. But the signs are there for Melbourne because they've kicked the last 5 goals of the game. And they've really stamped their authority on this match so far. Stein's doing well in the middle. Sean Smith and Michael. Viney charging through. Got the handball away to Anthony McDonald, who can run into an open goal from 25. Melbourne on fire at the MCG.
Well, it's nearly as noisy as it was when that other mob were kicking goals, so it does make me feel good. But again, whilst there was nothing particularly flash about it, just the work of Viney is exceptional. He's that tough and hard at what he does. And the handball was a bit of a hoping one. He had to dispose of it, but McDonald, who's a very good runner, that's Anthony, ran onto the ball and kicked the goal. It was a good, tough stuff from Viney, what we've grown to expect.
Centre bounce clearances are vital here at the moment, and Stein's jumping early against Monkhurst, who just obviously Sean Smith, he's bleeding there, and the blood rule will take effect. And with Monkhurst, he jumps early and the ball drops at the feet. Viney's able to get in there and just bodily pressure, just force the ball forward, and then he just follows on. He just runs up relentlessly, and Melbourne are reaping the benefits of that.
It's interesting it's also interesting that Russell's now isn't playing off the back of the square anymore. He's going to love it and playing one-on-one with him. Also, Tony Francis just came off, and Patterson going on.
So Gergic on for Melbourne. The hit-outs on the stat sheet show 12-6 in favour of Collingwood at the moment. Patterson going forward for the Magpies.
Scotty's got to actually just play on Lovett now, though, because he can still play wide, and he's really got to just be tight and try and lock him down, because he has been a big influence in this first half.
Just watch here how Steins will try and nullify the contest. Yep,
did it pretty well.
And then Viney at the bottom.
And G. Lovett again. Second effort. Awkward bounce for Buckley. Obbs sweating on him. Buckley dives on top of it. Chris Mitchell says play on. Then he says I'll bounce it.
It's just a real standard ploy, isn't it, Barmy, that they just nullify the opposition ruckman and Viney gets in for the hard first one.
Well, if you've got good, strong blokes on the ground, that's where you really want it. You want it in close. If you clear it, it's very hard to cover the percentages then. It's sort of a bit of a raffle.
Nathan Buckley, just the 2 kicks for the game so far. Moncourse got the tap that time, but that's going nowhere. Burns wrapped up by Glenn Lovett.
I'd like to see almost Scotty Burns play against Viney rather than Wild trying to tag him.
Yeah, I don't think Wild's perhaps smart enough. All respected Wildy, but I think Scotty's probably a bit more intelligent where to go to.
Yep, good call.
Hopgood grabs it at centre half back. Off to Viney. On his left, little grubber kick.
Looks like Sean Smith's going around to be stitched up in the rooms by the looks.
We'll have Andrew Marr with a report on that in a moment. Anthony McDonald got it to Newton. Gavin Brown leading in the race for the ball. Clean bowled him. Watson at the back. He might want the boundary. They're getting a bit cute, Collingwood. Glenn Lovett.
Oh, Brett Lovett's on in the centre if he had seen him.
Gergic, the 248s, and Gergic takes a one-hander.
He's got a lot of talent. He's only a baby, but that's a lot of talent. He knew exactly where the ball was going to go and managed to hold Michael out and just catch the ball on the far side of his body. It was a terrific effort. He's a lovely kick. This will be a tough kick from here. He might want to give it off, I would think, but there doesn't seem to be much offering.
Well,
let's just have a look at it.
Unless the captain's out there, he won't pass off to him. He'll have a go himself at his age.
A nice looking kick off the boot.
Just
you don't get 6 points for looking nice. There's only a point, was it? It was a nice kick. He's got some good skills, that kid.
Monkhurst coming off and Jason Taylor going back on.
And that was another turnover by Collingwood.
Yeah,
who,
it's interesting, Colin, you say that, because they were a very offensive side, and if they turn the ball over, a lot of the players have gone past the contest, and that's why it turns around so quickly, I reckon.
As Watson kicks out quickly down to Andrew Maher on the boundary.
There's a place for you in the boundary riders guild, collar. You were spot on. They couldn't stop the blood, and they're taking him to get the stitches.
Brett Lovett leads Krasiska. Krasiska did well to get around him, though. Back to Williams, tight on the boundary line. Only went as far as Obst. Loops the handball over to Gergic. He can kick from 45 on a tight angle.
For a goal. He is a good kick for goal, as I said. But, I mean, that kick-off that Collingwood had, they seemed to play on with, from my view here, with nowhere to really go. There was no advantage in where they went. And it got back to about 50-50, and then there was a lovely little handball from Obst over the top, and then a beautiful kick from Gergs. A lovely kick at goal.
Ned, you've seen Collingwood a few occasions this year. This lead is starting to blow out now. 6 goals, 31 points.
Yeah, well, like I said, is if they get a run on, they'll kick a lot, but they also, if they get too far forward of the contest, the other sides can do exactly what Melbourne are doing now, and they only need a bit of confidence, Mel, these young kids, and they got going. We saw it against Carlton a few weeks ago.
Wild out of the centre now, but Burns still on Glenn Lovett and Patterson against Viney. I think that might be a bit of a mismatch there in terms of getting in and getting it.
Margin now 37 points in favour of the Demons. They upset Carlton here at the MCG a couple of weeks ago, and it looks as though they might be doing the same to the Magpies, approaching the 20-minute mark of the second quarter.
What do you mean by that, Dermy?
Well, Pato doesn't, he's been a forward, he loves kicking goals and he'll run forward, but he won't, I don't think he plays, he's not hard at it on the deck.
No, I think you're probably right. It was a good tackle from him, though, but Viney's still got a hold of it.
There's a bloke who is hard on the deck, Viney. Whoop, Richardson had a look. He was lucky.
He just broke free of that tackle from Patterson there when he actually got both hands on his hips, and he's still able to keep running forward.
Gave it to Scott Crow. As we saw, Collingwood's been behind 7. Oh,
another.
Let's go back to Glenn Lovett. We'll come back to that stat in just a moment. And Burns did all right in the end, but then kicked it straight out in the full.
Oh, you can tell that Collingwood are out of confidence because Burns is one of their terrific sure ball handlers. He's fumbled, and then when he's got it back, he still kicked it out on the full.
Good effort by Glenn Lovett. Would have been easy to just give up the soft possession there, but just the bodily presence forced that one.
Uze ran 60 metres. Here's James McDonald at the back. Little kick towards Michael Richardson. Umpire calls advantage now. Short kick. Krasiska under pressure took a good mark.
He's got
good bit of umpiring.
And the men are Williams and Russell. Russell takes it. Inside to right. Oh, he misses it too.
Bad handball, very much behind him.
Russell, short pass over the head of Anthony Rocker. Nothing going right for Collingwood. Sav Rocker. Hand passes to nobody in particular. Crow gets it. Tries to break the tackle. He's gone.
Gee.
Melbourne all over the Magpies. And Stein's got a bit of attention, and the book's out.
Booked him.
Matthew Francis. Oh, dear.
He sunk the slipper.
I don't know if he sunk the slipper. He just put the foot down and eased him forward with the side of the leg there.
I've seen everything now.
Oh, I don't know if he sunk the slipper, Barmy. That's
no,
a bit
I don't mean that. No, in today's terms, that's. I mean, we call kicking something else in the old days than they do now. It's certainly rattled Collingwood. It's a terrific effort by Melbourne. They've been very strong in the mine in this game.
Hang on, we might. Oh no.
Well, it's on again.
Someone blindfold Colo, please.
Uze got thrown out of there.
I just say there's a couple of clubs here that have got a few problems, I think, next week.
Oh, his shoulder's out. His shoulder's popped out. That is out right now. Scotty Crow's had a bit of trouble with his shoulders.
Now, Paul Williams did a similar injury here once in a wrestle. I think
it's Brad Rowe.
Brad Rowe, sorry, yeah.
He's got to come off.
He's coming off.
Uze's had his number taken. He has to come off. That shoulder is popped out, no doubt about it. Well, Graham Yates there, the former Melbourne back pocket, and gun player, just having a word to Uze there. We get Scotty Crow back up on screen. He is in real strife. You see Graham right there, and Uze, look at that there. They're just trying to hold it, ease the pain a bit, but that thing came straight out. He won't take any further part, I wouldn't imagine. Andy Maher will find out in a second for us.
Play goes on. McDonald, Anthony McDonald, that is, to Neitz. Kicks it long. Sav Rocker's got down the ground. Newton tried a second grab. Ingerson followed Rocker down. Hand pass over to Cockatoo Collins. Snaps off the left from the pocket. Gergic, can he recover? Was he held out of it? Umpire said no. Gavin Brown Burns bangs it long to Williams.
Still outnumbered out there.
Hopgood to Obst. He drives it into
Beautiful
the pocket.
kick.
Gergic
A beautiful
again.
kick.
He's quick, Barmy. As you say, he's a baby and he's still light. He's got to put a bit of flesh on to be a regular league player, but he is quick for a bloke about 6'3".
Oh yes, well they're really. I mean, this is for the future for him, but he's a nice mover to the ball. He's got lovely hands, and dare I say, it's a lovely kick. We'll just see whether he puts it through. It was a beautiful kick by Obst.
Which quickly, while we wait on him to run into goal, we'll go to Andy Maher on the bench.
Yeah, it's dislocated. That seems to be the diagnosis. And I tell you, there's a bit of feeling down on the bench here. There was quite a bit of byplay between the two camps while all that skirmish was going on, and things did get quite heated down here. The emergency umpire needed to intervene.
I can see the Scotty's trying to get his shoulder back in it from here, where I can see with binoculars, and it still looks like it's out. It's a lot of pain.
Mark Richardson coming off. That could be another blood rule.
Yep. And
Back in now, Dermy. You'd be happy to know.
Yeah, aren't they shocking, those ones? I remember Jimmy Morrissey, my old teammate at Hawthorn. He had his shoulder pop out about 3 times in 2 years, and the last time he popped it out, he walked over to the fence, grabbed hold of it and jumped and put it back in himself like that. They become easier, but
see, now Monkhurst has come on, and he's coming on very slowly. The umpire needs to now just make the young Melbourne boy take his kick and get on with the game, which he's doing now, so not worrying about Monkhurst coming on.
So let's see if I can see this kick through. Looks nice off the boot, but I think he might have pushed it a bit right. And sadly, I mean not sadly, he's kicked a point.
Who are you going for, Barmy?
Oh no. Well, it's good that it's a point, because I can have another look at this kick-off from Bucks and see what he tries to do here.
Well, normally they'd go to where Brown is. You can see there, Barmy, and he's just outside 50. There's a gap where they try and lob the ball over to him, and they'll all draw the Melbourne players out of his area. You see by himself?
Yeah. Well, they pushed it out. It's a nice kick. It's a nice kick. And nothing special out of it, but it's a decent kick out.
Matty Francis can expect a bit of attention from the Melbourne supporters for the rest of the day. Russell ducking and weaving. High kick. Francis had to wait underneath it. Big fly from Newton. Schauble to Burns to right. Quick kick. Rocker, one hand in front. That was Sav Rocker. Francis can kick a goal for Collingwood. And a badly needed one for the Magpies.
Good work, little man. He thought about it and took the man on, but poor kick there with Graham Wright had come in, and he realised, probably thought he had a bit more pressure than he did, and it was a poor kick weighted to the wrong side of Severo, but it's actually helped Tony Francis running onto the ball.
Watch the replay here. Now, this does take a little bit of courage. He could have blazed away on the left, and that's been a criticism of Francis over the last couple of years, but he knows he's going to have to straighten up on the right, get contact. He knows he's going to get contact if he straightens up onto the right, but he still does it just to make sure of the goal. Now, that's almost, even though he's kicked the goal, unselfish play towards the team. Free kick off the ball again against Matty Francis.
Matty's got to cool down. He's absolutely lost it at the moment.
He tried to push David Schwartz into the square there, so the free kick should go to the... actually, it was against Schwartz. Sorry, no, it was against Matty Francis.
Not sure.
Oh, look, that's a shambles. No one knew what was happening. Poor old Matty Francis thought it was for them, so he's run away and he's left Schwartz on his own.
Yeah, now what happened was the boundary umpire has pointed that the free kick goes from the centre of the ground, and the umpire thought he meant that it was going Collingwood's way, but because that's the way you put it out for the umpires, but instead it was still the other direction.
Now we got Jimmy not on his own. Bad kick.
Watson chipped into the hole.
Can we dare say it? It's all happening.
Comes to the wing. Charles, fingertips to it. Seacamp, Charles again. Brett Lovett, Hopgood, Woden.
Terrific use of the handball then by the Melbourne boys.
Cockatoo Collins. Umpires found a free kick. It'll go to Collingwood and Francis. Matty Francis to Paul Williams, to Graham Wright, back to Williams, over the top to Watson. And they clear the zone. To the wing, Burns in front. Good punch by Phoebe. Krasiska loops a clever hand pass to Wild. Russell back to Burns. Off the left, Seacamp, straight down his throat.
They're actually looking for Nathan Buckley there, but just hooked it too much.
Jason Taylor's a bit out of sorts. I thought he was fairly good in the first quarter. Couldn't understand why he got taken off so quickly, and his confidence has just plummeted since he's been taken off.
Oh, the Rocker boys came together, and Anthony Rocker has the mark, and I think he might have a headache too.
He held up a bit then, Sav, and just off the ball. You wouldn't have seen it, but really didn't hit into him that hard.
He's doing a reasonable job, this young boy on Nietzsche, isn't he?
Yeah, he's moving around
pretty
well.
hard.
Now this to cut the gap to 26 points.
The other player too is Gavin Krasiska, who's been moved up to the wing this year, and he's really starting to get a bit of it the last few minutes.
Anthony Rocker will kick from 53 metres.
It's a big kick, Ned.
It's a great kick. Just push it to the right though.
It's amazing these blokes can just... The Rockers, they just hit it so far. They're playing with somebody else's rules, aren't they? I mean, most guys, the lower percentage of the kicks just don't get there from outside 50, but just amazing.
Melbourne bring it out quickly. It ends with Brett Lovett in the pocket. Buckley 1-on-2, did well, slapped it over his head. Collingwood have the numbers here. Williams came back inboard, gave it to Anthony Rocker, who goes short to Monkhorst.
Taylor's on him. No, too late, too slow.
Too far out, Monkey. Squares it. Krasiska, he's at 55.
Scotty Russell running around the back. He's had 10 possessions already this quarter.
Patterson chipped into the hole and he'll kick from around 50.
Patterson, this will test him. I don't think he'll kick it that far. He's
better running shot than a set shot, isn't he, Ned?
Yep, that's right. He's lined up and he's going to prove me wrong. No, he's pushed it to the right again.
I knew what was going to be a bigger test for him, whether he'd be unselfish and give it off. It's one area of Pato's game. He does not like giving it up when the goals are near.
Collingwood with a couple of late chances, but the difference is still 30 points. Melbourne double Collingwood score. Approaching half-time at the MCG. Round 17
Good
action.
kick.
Steins. Umpire said he had enough of it and paid the mark.
Avani goes to play on, and you can only do that from a free kick, not a mark.
Melbourne Social Club members are wrapped around me.
Lateral kick by Steins, actually going back to Ingerson. Hasn't got much to kick to. Cockatoo Collins. Krasiska knocked it to the ground. Obst off the ground. Patterson. Watson. Matt Francis. Quick kick away. Uze underneath it.
4-on-1.
Wild made a contest. Uze got it. Banged it back towards Newton. Matt Francis at the back. Watson. Krasiska. Williams. Right. Jason Taylor. Right. Collingwood building it slowly. Rocker. Couldn't grab it. The build-up was good, but Big Sav couldn't get the mitts around it. The gloves didn't help there.
That was a great bit of work by Ingerson. We've seen him playing some quality players and last few weeks, and he just fantastic job. Then get a hand to it. Not actually go for the ball, just go for the arms.
Half-time, Melbourne 9-6-60. They are 30 points ahead of Collingwood 4-6-30. Let's go down to Andy Marr. Andy, as they're coming off the ground there, it's a pretty heated game. And we see Jimmy Steins there on screen. I'll throw down to you in a second. You can get a bit of the feeling and try and gauge the way the boys are.
It's been amazing, Dermot, down here. In all the time that we've been doing games for the season, I can't remember an interchange area or so much sideline activity. And the atmosphere and the attitude amongst the Melbourne players has been incredibly single-minded. You compare and contrast that to the Collingwood blokes who, I think Pete might have mentioned that they appeared to be a bit rattled halfway through that second quarter. Well, that was spreading right through the camp, right down on the bench. They appeared to be rattled, and the vibe that you were getting so close to the players down on ground level was that Collingwood had taken their eye off the footy. Melbourne blokes just were sticking at it, and right now the crowd, these Melbourne blokes are walking off in front of a crowd that's totally supportive, and gee, they're going to be hard to peg back from here.
They really believe themselves at the moment. There's Damien Monkhorst. He was off the ground when Scotty Crow's shoulder popped out. He might have been a valuable man out there at that point in time.
And he's been in the ear of the umpires all the way off the ground too, Derm. He's just yap and telling him what's going wrong.
Well, he's entitled to ask the question as captain of the side today. He did toss the coin, but I think today is a day where we've vindicated that rule change, where we broken up the dressing rooms, and also to making teams go off in different directions.
Good on you, Colo. I've never thought you've made a bad decision in your career in the AFL. Melbourne 9-6-60, leading by 30 points over Collingwood 4-6-30. We're going to take a break and be back here very shortly. Win Collingwood, I reckon that is the glaring statistic we've got to look at.
Here we go, start of the second half at the MCG. Melbourne double Collingwood score at the moment. Todd Viney gets first possession out of the middle. Lovett went for the kick, then pulled it when he saw it was going to be dangerous. Scott Russell, quick hand pass to Wright, didn't handle it first time. McDonald, James McDonald in his first game, gets it as far as Shawbull to Brown. Steadies and kicks off a step towards Richardson, makes good ground marks on his chest. Handball to the running Tony Francis. Chip kick to Sav Rocker.
Good kick.
Just the start Collingwood wanted. If they're to be in this, they have to kick the first goal of the third quarter.
Now, it was a good kick, that one. For a kick that didn't travel perfectly through the air in terms of spin, it was just left, so Severio had to really charge at it, giving Ingerson, putting him out of the picture. Kick is swinging left to right. That's a fair start, and that's the one you were talking of, Pete Donegan.
And it was interesting there, Derm, that he did exactly what Craig Kelly was talking about. Went back, didn't muck around, had the kick, and he's got the goal.
It's about time he listened to me. He's taking the gloves off, but he just went back and went bang, didn't he?
In some ways, that's almost better for Severio. He just goes back and he really does kick through the ball. Watch the kick here. See, it is just a little drop kick that, see, he's had to change from leading out wide to running straight up at the kicker because it was a soft kick, and that put Ingerson out of the picture there. Yeah, good kick by Tony Francis.
Burns in the middle by him, in the back of the defensive area for Collingwood by himself, like Scotty Russell was for the first half.
Monkhorst on the bench for Collingwood, and Richardson is in the ruck, tried to take it. Spilled down to Schwartz, who's got time. Gave it to Obst, who ran down quickly, made good position for him. Anthony McDonald backs back and takes a good chest mark. 55 metres out. Can Melbourne get the quick reply? Collingwood first on the board. It's an up and under. Charles at the front. He's got good hands for a player of his size.
He just got to hang there a little bit too long for Brownie there, Ned.
He did, and certainly Brownie, though, hit his hands very, very hard, and you see his stats are 80% effectiveness. The disappointing thing there was Scotty Burns. He is really struggling to run. He's by himself down here in the defensive area, but he really got caught in no man's land. He was neither there at the contest or at the kick to where the contest would go to, and it was a bit disappointing.
Perfect view of this one.
Straight at me, straight through the middle. Well done, Sean. He does hang there.
It was a good selection there for the long kick coming in, because the Collingwood player Francis actually guarding, Matty Francis was guarding the full back there and the post, and he actually went up expecting the short leading player to go forward, and that put him out of position. So it was always going to be a one-on-one situation with Charles, who is in good form overhead. See Matty Francis coming in from the left of screen. He ran off Newton expecting to just get 5-10 yards on him. So it was a good option there taken by the Melbourne player McDonald.
Burns is now picking up Obst on the half-forward flank.
Back to 30 points. Steins jumped into Richardson, got the tap. Patterson sharked it, threw it on his foot towards half forward. Brett Lovett going back, clever by Scott Russell. He can kick from 50. He's normally pretty deadly in this situation. Rocker almost got it. His brother gives him a shepherd, bats it towards Wild, beats him. Watson, Francis, they can raffle it. Francis over his head, straight up in the air. Play on. Melbourne might get out of this. Free kick to Collingwood. Off the ball.
Well, they've been a bit lucky there in a while. They were sort of unlucky in a sense. They had all the numbers, and Sav seemed to have the sit there and couldn't quite keep the mark. Tony Francis had a perfect opportunity to kick the Tony Francis goal, but they've probably, I'm not saying the free kick wasn't there, they've been a bit lucky to get away, because Melbourne certainly defended particularly well to save the footy, but now they've got it back. We've got Buckley playing effectively, I guess, centre-half forward as well, which I'm not sure. Let's have a look at this kick. He shouldn't miss from here, and wouldn't think he would. Yeah, it's not easy stuff.
No problem. That could be a good move, putting Buckley to centre-half forward, because, I mean, every time you play in the midfield and you run a certain way, a certain pattern to get the ball, and if you're being tagged, you just cruise through it like that. We might take a look at the replay coming up here. See at the back of the screen here. Watch Rocker there. Oh, just the left hand. It's not for the... I wouldn't think it is for that little slight tap across the face.
It was probably there. It was probably there. He's probably lucky, but it was probably there. I don't quite agree with that Buckley thing. I'd much rather Buckley play centre or somewhere, and that should put that much pressure on Woden. It's not funny.
But if he's playing centre-half forward down there, the secondary centre-half forward, he's got to play as every other centre-half forward does, Barmy.
Well, I don't reckon that suits him.
Yep, fair call.
Good
That's
hands.
your opinion, not mine.
Young McDonald. Sorry, Barmy.
So he'll probably kick 5 now, make me look like a fool.
He might get wiped out of it.
I've tried to argue with Dermy before, Barmy. Just give up.
I'm not arguing with him. I'm just offering my opinion.
Yeah.
3 goals in the first 4 minutes of the third quarter. 2 to Collingwood, 1 to Melbourne. Steins uses the body, got rid of Krasiska, down to Hopgood. Up in the air, into open spaces. Who's a great contest. Here's Charles, the will-o'-the-wisp again. Just couldn't get his boot to it. Gergic into the pocket. Hand pass towards James McDonald. Collingwood driving it back out to the defensive 50. Liddell did well. Wrapped up in the tackle. Umpire said he might have got it a bit high.
Well, Gavin Brown then did a fantastic job. He really was behind, and he just was desperate at it, and caused the ball not to be forced through for a goal by Charles.
And the free kick to Patterson for the tackle off the ball. Obst, big fly. Went without it. Shawble tried to kick it off the ground. So did Krasiska. Buckley, what can he do? Wheels around. Can he pinpoint a pass? Anthony Rocker. Francis at the back. He was held without it. Let the umpire know all about it too.
Well, he got away with it then, didn't he? Like before, Barmy, he played for it and didn't get it.
Well, he probably was grabbed then. Again, as I said, I'm not that happy with him. Not that happy with him playing for frees, because it doesn't give him a chance to get the footy. But maybe it was there, but only just. But still, you can't grab him, and that's fact. It's right in front of the umpires. But that kick of Bucks, that's probably the one. It's a beautiful kick, but that's probably the one he doesn't make as well as he should. He's virtually dropped it between the 2 rockers then.
Yeah, he definitely went for Rocker, but he's just not. That's the one tiny flaw in his kicking. He's not good at weighting the kicks. He's a beautiful, long, hard kick, and he can put it out in front if you lead. But when he has to weight it to somebody running straight at him, that's the only area he needs to polish up.
Let's look at the shot for goal. What does it look like? I think he's pulled it. He's missed. He needed to kick that.
It's a great point, that, Dermy, is that underneath sort of 40 to 50 metres, he actually doesn't kick it well. If you had to kick it over 50 metres at the long pass, it's a lot better.
Buddha Hockings in the league is magnificent at it. He can put it over somebody's head 20 metres away and drop it on somebody's head 22 and a half.
Obst let Francis know all about the miss. Kick out finishes up with Ingerson. Steins at the back.
He's been good today, Anthony Rocker.
He's marked well, hasn't he? He's been very strong.
Good hands.
But he really reaches well, doesn't he? He plays a bit taller. That's not the best kick he's ever kicked, though.
And Steins just paddles it over the boundary line. Umpire says throw it in, and the Melbourne members come to their feet.
He might get reported for viciously kicking it into the man on the mark.
What do you reckon, Colo?
I don't know whether that's ever happened before, but it hurts if he hits you in the wrong spot.
Tony Francis burrows in.
Now, I've got to ask you one there, Colo. Let's say somebody was on the man on the mark and you ran straight up to him and you just intentionally kicked it full throttle at his body knowing it had hurt. What do you reckon they'd think?
Oh, I wouldn't think you're too smart, I wouldn't have thought.
I knew you would have thought of that one, Dermy.
Yeah, I have actually.
He's probably tried it, don't worry about that.
Williams down towards Anthony Rocker again. He's starting to come into the game. He's been good, as the boys have said, and he's got a kick from 35.
He was exposed virtually one-on-one on Glenn Lovett then. I don't quite know how that happened, and he used his marking very well. It's a nice catch again. Maybe Glenn got his hand to it, but you always pay those. He really controlled the ball. Now, this is a tough kick, but he is a beautiful kick, certainly a long kick. It's a tough kick. I'm sort of on the wrong angle to see it, but let's have a look at it on the vision. He's going to have a shot at it.
We've got the good view from
right
here,
behind
Barmy.
him.
We'll call this one in. But the wind's almost dropped. It's lightened off a little bit here. He'll probably just have to start it inside the right-hand goalpost.
Anthony Rocker for his second goal.
That's close.
That's a lovely kick.
As you called it, Barmy, he found himself against Glenn Lovett there, and it's a bit of a mismatch in terms of height when it comes down. Anthony Rocker's probably around 6'4", Glenn Lovett around the 6 foot mark, maybe even a little bit less, and he's actually just playing off the back of the square. Yeah, Neat sort of moved in for expecting the longer kick there. It's a good effort by Glenn Lovett to just get back and try and put pressure on them.
I think it was all part of the kick-off, etc. He's moving around pretty well, Anthony, actually. He's not just being an easy pick-off player. He tends to move around.
They've got 5 players directly down the spine between the centre and the goal square, Collingwood.
Francis wraps up Lovett. That's Tony Francis and Brett Lovett in the tackle. Secondary bounce to occur.
Well, the margin's back to 17 points now, so it did blow out to a little bit over 30, 31 points at one stage during the second quarter. So the Pies are, well, ever so slowly coming back.
Viney trying to barge his way through. Did he have it? Well, it didn't matter because he got it back anyway. Gavin Brown almost.
Keep your feet.
Charles just pushed off it by Michael at the last minute. Oh, that's a free kick to Collingwood. Uze on Liddell.
Ripped his head off, and it was actually, he didn't need to do that because they're under enormous pressure, Collingwood. Then if they hadn't marked it, there was a number of players running onto it.
Poor vision by Liddell. He had Schauble on the other side of the ground directly, probably 30 metres from an opponent.
Scotty Russell just told him about it as well.
Yeah, further to what you're saying, Dermy, there's 3 blokes in the goal square, and then there's Buckley virtually in front of him. You just had Richardson running down, and Bucks has told him to get away. They're really trying to make space,
A lot of players around the ball. Hopgood took the boundary tap, kicked it about 5 metres up in the air, and it'll go back to the boundary umpire.
We look at centre wing behind play there. Tony Francis on screen. Back on centre wing, the 2 ruckmen are sitting a kick behind play, but also Glenn Lovett sitting off them as a loose man, and Obst about 30 yards ahead of them, sitting on defensive side of his opponent as well.
That's Scotty Russell and Scott Burns' men, and they're both at the ruck contest.
It's a little wonder why Melbourne are getting numbers to the ball. Once it clears the pack situation today, they're just outnumbering them even before the ball gets there.
Well, it's funny, last time they played, Collingwood got the ball away from this sort of situation well, and Melbourne were at them as well, weren't back behind the play, so they've learned pretty well from that and pushed their blokes back.
Pretty tight in there on the boundary line. James McDonald dives on it. Another bounce coming up here by the look of it.
A bit more at it though, Collingwood, at the moment. They're really starting to throw themselves in, and
well, they're well ahead in the tackles. 5-1 this quarter, so you know, they are getting around the ball a bit more, aren't they?
They're not running forward too much.
And statistically, Collingwood's second half has been much better than its first half this year.
It's interesting, David Schwartz moving further and further up the field every week. We see him now sort of doing a lot more of the ruck work and moving right up the ground. Good to see.
Steins got it down to Schwartz, barged his way through. Anthony McDonald, free kick, it'll go to Schwartz. He was taken high. Quick kick. Charles going back. Burns. Uze smothered it. Chance here for the Demons. But he throws it onto the foot. It comes back, but not far enough.
Well, Uze, Charles and also Gergic, they're very mobile and quick forward line that Melbourne have got at the moment.
He actually leads all right from full forward, Barmy, Uze.
Oh, he is actually very suited to that sort of play.
Burns' kick wasn't a good one, but Wright had the pace to get there.
They got the players on further afield, Collingwood.
Francis just nudged his opponent out, nearly had it. Umpire said play on. Russell inboard. Liddell waited for the bounce, gave it to Wright. Off his left, kicks into the centre square. Anthony Rocker on the lead. Starting to have an influence on the game now. He goes for a big kick. It's a boomer. Up into the goal square. Covered 75 metres if it covered a millimetre. Watson in a tight situation. Bounce handball. Sav Rocker, what can he do with it? Goes back to Russell. Measures the kick. Centres it. Over the head of Wild. Neitz comes in. Rocker bats it down. Anthony Rocker snaps a goal. They did it the hard way, but they got the result.
That was pretty clever play by Severio there. I reckon he knew where he was just belting that one down to. It was almost the base of his hand, I would suggest, where he's hit it forward with almost like the spike in the, what do you call it? Volleyball. You watch it coming up here when it eventually gets back to him and he directs where he hits it to.
Well, it's interesting. He actually used to play volleyball at a competitive level, Derby, so he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he did. He hit it with the base of his palm then.
I wouldn't like to rely on that to kick the winning goal in the grand final. It was actually a terrific bit of effort, certainly on Collingwood's part, because they lost the run of it a couple of times, but they just hung in there and finished up virtually pinching a goal out of that.
Well, improvisation can award you on a few occasions during a match.
Margin back to 12 points now. A-Rocker with the last 3 goals of the game. Can Melbourne withstand the challenge? Francis hand pass not good. Intercepted by Newton. High kick. Liddell coming in. Takes a good mark. Moves it on quickly. He's got his skipper. Gavin Brown on the defensive 50. Little chip kick in. Williams flew. Viney there for the crumbs. Wrapped up by Krasiska.
Outnumbered them again, Melbourne, at that contest.
Stephen Phoebe to Glenn Lovett. Chip kick to Anthony McDonald on the wing. He can go on. And he does. Looks into the pocket. Schauble. Umpire says play on now as he moves it on. Oh, trouble here. Clarkson. This can really hurt. Great tackle. Newton off a step at 40. Bangs it towards the goals and misses to the right.
Well, Dermy, as you know, Andrew Shauble's worked very hard on his kicking since he came to Collingwood, and certainly a lot better, but you've got to make sure those ones hit the target.
Absolutely, and look, about 30 seconds ago when Brownie's kick going back inboard turned over, Collingwood should have had the ball in their forward line then. It was Krasiska further afield who didn't run to the outside of the ground to be the option, so Brownie had to look back inboard where they were outnumbered. That's what cost them. Gav Krasiska, who is a very clever player, just didn't get to the outside then.
Matty Francis, they're going down the middle, which is without Bucks kicking down the middle, very hard because they can't keep the low trajectory and just get it going long and hard.
Schwartz deep.
Goes long. Charles in the contest. Brown takes a good mark.
Jimmy Stein's just not enough depth on his kicking then, otherwise Schwartz was on it deep in the goal square.
Typical Brownie kick up and under a bit.
Krasiska almost.
It's obvious that Collingwood, the way they've set up their forward line, they must be instructed to go down the middle of the ground this quarter because they're doing it at every opportunity.
Great running by Matty Francis. He kicks up towards full forward and Buckley over his head. Rocker at the back. Big Sav. Attention from Ingerson, who did well. Buckley, he'll kick a goal.
He's kicked a goal.
The Pies are on the march at the MCG.
Well, interesting the way they brought it in, as Collo said, they've been directed to kick it down the middle, which is a bit of a punt, but Matthew Francis has run really hard from where he was. They kicked it over the top of him. If you can get it into that spot virtually at centre forward, it really puts the back line under pressure. And again, it was a little bit scruffy the rest of the play, but that's what set it up. But further to Dermy's point, when they brought the ball through the middle to Williams, it was because they've got Buckley at centre forward. He's not playing the traditional role. There was no one to go to down the line, so it does put a bit of pressure on the blokes downfield.
Neat's coming forward for Melbourne now, and Schwabel's picking him up.
Bounce in the middle of the gap, down to 7 points now. Down they go like a pack of cards. Ops running through the middle. Good pass to Schwartz. Just didn't hit him. Burns. Michael charging out of defence for Collingwood. Kicks it long. Down the centre. Steins at the back.
See, that's Buckley. He's not just reading those as a centre-half forward. He'll give you trouble when the ball's already in the vicinity, but he's got to read those kicks and make the contest.
Well, that's why I reckon you should put him on the ball and not put him at centre forward, but I got sacked, so I don't know anything.
I don't know about that, man.
Uze, the only one to stay down. Great smother there. That was by Liddell.
I think their tactics are working, but I think Steins was terrific the way he dropped back into that hole there and held it up.
Just read it.
Russell to Williams to Russell on to Patterson.
It's the thing about Collingwood, they're down the middle, they're very, very attacking.
Well, that was a terrific setup. Russell ran through the middle and made that happen.
Right down towards Sav Rocker. Anthony Rocker does the roving. Watson at the back, off the left.
It's a great kick.
Kicks a miracle goal.
Down the centre of the ground again.
Well, it really can be almost described as maybe all duck and no din. If you go down the middle all the time, you really do open it up for the opposition if you lose it. But if you keep a hold of the ball, obviously it's the place to be. But Scotty Russell really did that well, bringing the ball out of defence. He worked really hard to get back inside, which opened the whole thing up. He probably would have been safer and easy to run outside, but he would have been stuck to one side. He really got it happening, and it gives you a real chance when you're full face of goal like that.
The half forwards actually let out wide, which left room for the full forward line to run up and make a real serious contest then.
A point the difference at the MCG. Can Viney inspire the Demons? He hoiks a handball 25 metres out. Who's going to be first there? Scott Burns leads in the race, heads to the boundary and finds it.
Well, Collingwood, when they've been trailing at three-quarter time, have lost every game, so they really needed to make sure they're in front, really. On statistics, they would have lost if they hadn't been winning at three-quarter time.
It's interesting, the pattern of this game has changed completely. Melbourne's now going wide.
Schwartz kick, just straight up in the air. Covered a bit of territory, though, and that'll be a mark to Phoebe.
Yeah, well done, Stephen Phoebe, then. Really ran at it hard.
Tough ball to mark. Phoebe. Chip kick. Neats. Man in front, though, Liddell.
He's been great, Liddell, since he's come down the back pocket. Normally plays up forward, but been good in defence.
Yeah, he's got a bit of the ball, and David Neats only had 4 kicks to date so far. Admittedly, been playing in the back line trying to hold it up, but you want to find a bit of it from here in.
Francis had to hold it up there and did so very well. Patterson's off. Umpire said held to him in the end.
Now, I've got to say, Colo, I don't think that is a real gutsy decision by the umpire there, Michael Forbes. I mean, he did play on, but has just taken the soft option there.
He did. He had the prior option, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
No, I think that was pretty good umpire. It would have been pretty hard to pull him for holding the ball. Well, what option did he have to get rid of it? He didn't have any.
He should have taken off.
He should have taken his kick.
Brett Lovett, a long kick. Uze, almost a good mark. Umpire said throw it in.
Sorry, it comes back to that old rule that if you take on the opposition and you grab for any reasonable period of time, it's holding the ball.
But it's Patterson's. He tends to try and do that a lot of the time, doesn't he, Dermy? Really take the tackler on and gets himself in a bit of trouble.
Yep.
20 minutes gone at the MCG third quarter. It's a point the difference, and Collingwood on the charge, and it's a free kick to Matt Francis.
Well, hasn't the momentum swung around in the last 10-15 minutes?
Yeah, well, Melbourne have just got to tighten up on their midfield blokes to make sure they don't get that run which they're relying on, and then just hope that the tide will turn.
Francis goes long. Buckley. Can he come into the game? Woden's done a magnificent job on him so far. Buckley, one of those trademark 60-metre drop punts. Anthony Rocker, one hand. Got to the front of the contest.
He's probably had more kicks in this third quarter than he has in the second half.
Here comes the kick. No, he's pulled it.
He's probably had more kicks in this third quarter than he has for the whole second half aggregate for the year. He's not known for his, endurance or longevity out on the ground.
They've been working very hard at it. Him and Sav have been doing morning sessions about 3 extra times a week on top of everything else, because last time when they had the weekend off, they ran a tan, and these two guys came in behind Danny Frawley and also Clokey. That's how bad they were going.
Fair dinkum. Well, he's had 6 kicks this quarter.
They hung out the lanterns for him, did they?
They weren't bothering with the stopwatch. They're timing them by the sundial.
Certainly worked, though. They're running. Anthony's running extremely well in this game.
Bit of anxiety in the coach's box. It's all tied up. We start again from now. 68 points apiece. Deep in the third quarter. Ingerson deep in the pocket. Hugs the line and goes to Seacamp, who can go off. Ran his fair distance.
They worked that out pretty well. A couple of nice little short kicks now. They're on the wing.
Oh, good
Beautiful
mark,
mark,
Jimmy.
Free kick to Collingwood.
Against Viney.
Well, the run of players going to Collingwood now. All the 50-50 decisions. Chris Siska takes a great mark. Moves it on to Buckley. Off the left, stabs the pass and hits Sav Rocker at 45.
Now, this is probably his best distance from here, because he just goes back and he is forced to kick through the ball. When he's just a little bit inside, he knows he's going to make it.
He's employing the Steve Kernahan trick of kicking it straight away. Let's have a look at it.
Pushed it.
He's hasn't struck that one very well at all.
Yeah, he hasn't struck it well. He kicked it from outside 50 and it's actually cleared the fence.
No, I mean, in terms of the his direction
accuracy,
of flight, yeah.
7 free kicks to 1 in this quarter in favour of Collingwood.
You're right about that, though, Barmy. That's what I was illustrating there. He's hit a mongrel, and it's probably carried 60 metres on the fly, that kick.
I wouldn't like to give me a kick.
I actually stood on the mark for him a couple of years ago at goal kicking practice, and I thought if he gets one of these skinny, I won't have the reactionary time to get out of the way of it, and I'm in trouble.
It's just a long kick to people here.
Richardson to Buckley. Delayed the kick. Kicked it over the head of Wright. He can go back. It'll sit for him. He can come inside to Anthony Rocker. Decides to kick it up in the air towards Sav Rocker. 2 to beat. Ball to the back. Patterson gets around Dobbs. Snaps from 25 and misses, and had a few men on in the pocket.
Well, they were the blinkers we talk about with Stephen Patterson. Prior opportunity, probably the best option was to come backward to Gavin Kosiska, who was standing on the 50-metre line and could have had a direct run in at goal and kick from about 45.
They just told him to, Dermy, please. Gav doesn't say much, normally, does he?
Well, that's his nickname, Bagger. And does he bag people if they don't do the right thing?
Well, let's have a look at this kick-off. Last time, I reckon they've stopped moving a little bit, the Melbourne blokes, stopped wanting it. The short has really been what's on. They may go to a 2-on-1. Oh, no, they've gone short again.
Seacamp in the pocket on the southern stand side.
So 1-on-2
kick.
on the second kick, though.
Now, what can Anthony McDonald do? Rocker, put it to the ground. Bit lucky. Graham Wright off the left, hits Watson right in front of the players' race.
Well,
and nearly in it.
Real reversal of trends in the second quarter. Melbourne killed Collingwood for possessions. 25 more possessions to Collingwood in the third quarter at the 25-minute mark.
Sav Rocker went up one hand. Tony Francis got a toe to it. Ingerson had it for a while. Umpire said no opportunity.
Dermy, it's interesting, like I was saying before half-time, is that Collingwood, because they can be so offensive, that they often do this, that they can kick a heap of goals very quickly, but if their skill level isn't up to the right level, then they turn the ball over, they're in a lot of trouble.
That bounce down that's just about to take place. Good sign for Collingwood. 2 tackling players on the one Melbourne defender, which Collingwood's forward line hasn't been doing a lot of.
Yes, it's interesting. Here's a...
Oh, now that came off a boot. That's a goal to Collingwood.
Rockers kicked that one.
Well, I mean, you can say those are luck, but they've really lifted their intensity. Funnily enough, particularly in the forward area this quarter, they've been really at it. They've made something out of nothing 2 or 3 times. But you can see at half-time they hadn't kicked a goal from a mark or a set kick. It's all been on the run. But I think they've taken something like 18 marks to 11 this quarter, which means they've started to not only mark in the packs, but get the ball a bit free themselves. But I mean, they've certainly changed their momentum, and Melbourne have just got to get a hold of the footy and try and settle it down.
We saw Severio's left foot make contact with that one. Yeah, take them all, Barmy. You don't care how they go through.
Absolutely.
It's been a 38-point turnaround in this quarter.
Clarkson on in the middle for Melbourne.
Bounced over Buckley's head as it's been doing all day. Brett Lovett at the back was held without it. Cheers from the Melbourne fans who don't think they've had a good run from the umpires. Phoebe.
Bad kick.
At the feet of Steins. The big fellow did well, but he's not doing anything to get it out.
That's it.
Dermy, this will be Gav's 13th kick, and he's operating about 75%. 13th possession, sorry.
Yeah, he's found a new sort of touch out on the wing.
Punched away from Rocker by Ingerson. Hopgood wrapped up.
Very well done by Ingerson there. That wasn't a bad kick in front. He's actually worked pretty well. Bingo's very good, very competitive player.
He struggled a little bit earlier in the game of Krasiska when he was in the back line, and we know Ned
lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, very capable player, a fantastic competitor, and put onto the wing, perhaps knowing the goals aren't one kick away for his opposition player. He's found a little bit of form over the last couple of weeks.
Big punch by Sav Rocker. Buckley got Woden high. Anthony McDonald to Brett Lovett. Steins, which way will it bounce? Okay, flips it over. Glenn Lovett runs outside the 50. Newton want to be quick. Got the kick away.
Show you how much the game's changed. Collingwood's had 11 shots to 3 this quarter.
Neitz has been pinged again for that little push.
Yeah, hands in the back again, Colo.
Yes, he's having a bad day, Neitz, isn't he? He's now up forward.
Matt Francis has run off Schwartz. Into the centre square, bombs it long. Sean Smith at the back. Brown does the roving. Threw it on his boot. He had a bit more time. Brett Lovett. Steins. Chip kick. Krasiska was held, but took the mark anyway.
Now, I saw Krasiska there. He was actually started behind Obbs, and that is what he didn't do last time we were talking about when Collingwood came forward. He knew he had to get to the outside to beat the kicker.
Watson back to Krasiska. Anthony Rocker in the pack. Phoebe on the ground. Wrapped up. Bounce to take place.
Yeah, what he had to do there, he knew the kick was going to go boundary line side of the 2 players, and the first player out there is always going to be an advantage when the kicking player is put under extreme pressure, forced out towards the boundary.
Another good example of the lift and intensity. That's a terrific tackle from Rocker. They won't let it out.
Collingwood 8 points in front. Rocker got the tap. Francis wheeling around. Was slung as he kicked it. Went straight up in the air. Wild throws it on his boot and kicks another miracle goal. When your luck is in, it is in.
But they look a lot better, don't they, with the way they're kicking the ball instead of those clever little handballs that they were doing in the first half that weren't hitting targets.
Absolutely.
8 goals for to 1 goal 2 in this quarter by Collingwood.
David Cockatoo Collins coming on, and looks like Adamuze coming off, and Andrew Obbs, as I said, let Krasiska beat him out wide to that contest. He's been replaced by Gergic, Brent Gergic.
A At the moment, the marks 21-11 in favour of Collingwood. Their best third quarter of the year was against Port Adelaide in round one, where they kicked 56 points, and they've got 52 here.
Lee Newton run away from centre forward and is starting at the back of the square for Melbourne, leaving Mel Michael doing the same at the other end.
Wild charging through, the goal kicker got it back again. The ball's following the Collingwood players at the moment. Rocker a couple of grabs, right dashing onto it. Well done, Sean Smith. Gergic, Newton. Krasiska running at it, got Brett Lovett behind the ear. Free kick.
He's a great warrior, this bloke. He just puts himself in the way all the time, Brett. He's a terrific competitor. But they're looking awesome coming out of the middle at the minute, Collingwood. They've just got to slow the pace down, Melbourne. They've got to stop them from rushing at him.
Newton marks in front of Buckley on the wing. 30.5 minutes gone. Can Melbourne get a late one? Stop this onslaught. Richardson! What a grab!
That'll hurt him, that one. That could hurt him landing like that.
Well, you can see they're starting to play with a bit of confidence. Richardson marks, and even Tony Francis has been up trying to upset his opponent.
Switch of play, and they've gone up to Schwabel.
50 metres in the clear he was when he took it. Hand pass to Michael, who's run down. He chips the pass. Sav Rocker turns around. He's going to snap from 35. What can he do? He can kick a goal right on the siren. What a quarter by Collingwood.
Well, as I said, Lee Newton ran around to be a defensive extra player at the back of the square in Melbourne's backline. He's playing centre-half forward. That left Mel Michael free at centre-half back at the corresponding other end. He just floated through the centre with the will of the play and found his kick out there to Saverio Rocker, who, look at that confidence. He is just a man. It's like a barometer for the team, Saverio Rocker. If he's got the confidence up kicking goals, 4 to his credit now.
9 goals 4 to 1 goal 2 in that quarter.
Outnumbering Melbourne massively in possessions that quarter. We're going to take a break here. We're Collingwood 13-10, 88, lead Melbourne by 20 points, 10-8, 68. On you remembering things said to you at three-quarter time. I remember walking out to you in the last quarter and shaking your hand, said, well played today, and you went to run off, and I kicked a couple of easy ones. So we're thinking too quickly.
Never easy.
Final quarter. Collingwood's turned it around, a 50-point turnaround in the third quarter. They lead by 20 and Patterson gets the first kick. Williams and Hopgood in pursuit.
It's been good Hopgood all day on Williams. Really, hasn't been his damaging self as he has been over the last few weeks.
Good call there. You see, he actually just socked the ball towards the boundary. Make no mistake, he was definitely going for it, but pretty far out. Was never going to get pinged, and Willow just ran along, put his arms out to say, hey, Umpy, that was deliberate, instead of the mindset being, I'll win the ball.
Richardson's tap. Viney got through somehow, got it off to Gergic. Throws it onto the foot. Into the middle. Michael, good spoil on Sean Smith. Schwabel showed courage, so did Smith. Phoebe.
Clever kick.
Charles in front, showing pace. In fact, it's Cockatoo Collins in the long sleeves.
Oh, well done.
Schwartz takes a very good juggling mark.
That's the sort of ability David Cockatoo Collins has got. Lovely touch and a beautiful kick back around the corner, and a nice mark from Schwarter there. Let's again, this is a bit like who kicked it before, one of the Rockers, Anthony, I think. It's a similar kick. A tough kick, but Schwarter is a beautiful kick at the footy. So you blokes, you're right behind him. You tell me what he's going to do.
We'll ride it in from here.
It's for his first.
Good kick. Just might touch away. Yep.
He'll be disappointed with that.
Yeah, that kick that swung around there, he did everything right, Matty Francis, but as you say, the screw kick back kept going around and favoured Schwartz's side of the pack there, but the pace of David, is it David or Donald Cockatoo Collins today?
David today.
Just the pace to run away from Liddell. That's not a bad move by Hutchinson, trying to expose Liddell's lack of foot speed down there, and if he gets it 3 or 4 more times, it could be interesting.
Schwabel, big jump. Patterson, Phoebe, boundary line.
Wasn't a very imaginative kick-off. It was really almost to just a 2-on-2, but they've managed not to lose it, which is probably a reasonable result.
Big forward line for Collingwood, Dermy. There's Richardson, Rocker and Rocker, 2 Rocker boys, and also Watson, with Buckley really being probably the quickest player down there.
Steins went over his head, but Patterson was there to get it. Hopgood got a good bounce. He can measure his options, goes towards
kick.
Schwartz.
Not a bad kick. Yes, very nice kick. Nice catch, Schwarter again. Well, he's had a bit of practice of this kick. Do you reckon he'll do a bit better?
About 5 metres out, about 5 metres out further wide. I'm on the left-hand side of the panel here viewing it. This Ian Collins, you're about 2 metres further than my right. You
Yes,
call this one.
I think he's just missed again to the same spot, right?
Still in play though. Liddell overran it. Cockatoo Collins dived on it, tried to get it out, couldn't. And the umpire will have to ball it up just adjacent to the kick-off line.
The intrigue part there, Swartz didn't make the distance with that one and barely made it with the time before yet. And the Rockers had kicks from there. They were putting them into the,
over the fence.
10 rows back.
Yeah.
Matthew Francis got it cleverly down to Burns. It was slung as he kicked, but it went to Mark Richardson. Hand pass Patterson, got rid of it. Krasiska barging through, swats a handball over the top. Russell and Glenn love it. Should be a good contest, this one. Russell won it.
Keep your feet.
Handball inboard to Shawball. He can give it to Wild, who can run inside to 45 and shoot for goal. And miss.
Well, it's interesting the way the game's changed. In the first half, Melbourne would have got the footy in those couple of contests, but certainly Collingwood have lifted their rating and Melbourne have lost a little bit of the confidence. But also, even in Swarter's kick, when you lose confidence, he probably should have kicked it to Smith in a one. There's a one-on-one on Michael, which would have been probably a better percentage kick than going for goal.
Some of the other games going on at the moment. West Coast lead Geelong by 17 points at Subiaco at three-quarter time, and St Kilda 28 points ahead of the Brisbane Lions at Waverley.
Good mark
great
by
grab.
Newton.
That was a great grab.
He's been a bit angry today, Paul Williams.
Yeah, he wasn't being happy.
There's been some good aerial work in this game, and that's just another example of it. Well,
Colo, do you view the videotape still?
Yeah, I get them referred to me occasionally. I might take a day off tomorrow.
I'll have to take annual leave. Sean Smith, play on. Cockatoo Collins to a standing Hopgood. Matthew Francis. Watson tries to flick it on to Buckley. Buckley takes it. Rocker went to flick it on. Neitz. He's in a tight spot. Rocker off the ground. Misses to the left.
See, that's a wrong decision there for Buckley to attack the ball running through. It's the man running out from goal always to grab the ball. That's just basic team rules. He can feed it off to the blokes who run at the same direction, running towards goal. So Buckley, that's a little bit of selfish play there that goes against the team. When I say goes against the team, it's because they don't have 6 points on the board for that action.
Dermy, Sean Smith's now gone down the forward line. It was interesting why they moved him back because his first quarter was fantastic up forward for Melbourne.
Yeah, he
did go off though to get stitched up. So
you didn't think that? You think they would have brought him back down forward rather than back?
Yeah.
Seacamp in the pocket, didn't know what to do with it, so he gave it straight to Patterson.
They're just starting to turn it over now, just unforced errors. Before Collingwood were winning the ball, now they're turning it over at Melbourne. 3-on-1 here.
Tony Francis on the left, snaps
Goal.
and goals.
Trademark goal for little man. He's at the bottom of the pack and he's enjoying it today. He's starting to run back into some fitness, and there's his possessions, 12 at 42%, one mark. It's pretty typical, Tony, to be low in the in the effectiveness of the possessions, because he tends to, like Dermy's called a couple of times, rush his kicks. But
3-on-1 situation there, Ned, and he just stayed down. Really the only player from either side who stayed at the back of the pack. He was always going to win it if it went over there for his third goal.
Newton off the ground, Uze on, and he goes forward for the Demons. Collingwood now 27 points in front after trailing by 30 at half-time. Francis let Steins jump and come back to earth, and then got it, paddled it out to Krasiska. Turns back on his favoured left. Snaps it around the body to Buckley. He's at 45.
well, that's Gavin Krasiska. I know he's been a quiet achiever today. That'd be up near his 15th possession, I believe. And he's just been great on the wing, like Dermot said, halfway through that third quarter.
Turned 25 yesterday, Nathan Buckley. And this to kick his second goal of the game. Ned, you're right behind it.
And Nathan shouldn't miss this. Beautiful kick, and he has. Kicked it straight at me. Really pushed it off the right-hand side of his boot, which is unusual for Nathan.
Well, those stats for Buckley, that's a great effort by young one Woden, isn't it, to keep him to whatever that was, 8 or so. Well, I think it is anyway.
Oh,
we agree, Barmy.
We're not willing to dispute you, believe us. See Collingwood zone here, if we get a few of it
it's
there.
good. I was just saying,
It's not
Gav Krasiska's yelling them all to start moving rather than being stationary. You'll see all the players just moving around in little circles, and so they're taking up big areas.
It's quite deep. I think Melbourne might even try playing on from one of the kick-ins.
Viney Down on the deck,
Oh,
clever
well
by
done.
Brett Lovett to Woden, charges through the middle.
Great kick.
Long kick, Schauble back with courage, gets it again, gets rid of it, heads to the boundary line, and that was terrific play.
That's his 13th possession, and he's taken 6 marks and great courage. He's been great today.
Yeah, that was a good effort. Swarter was on the move then, and he did know what was coming, but it was a good effort to push it away and give him another chance here at the throw-in.
Disregarding that effort by Schauble, it was a very good kick going forward by Woden.
Oh, he is a lovely kick at the footy. He's going to, as we've said, he's going to be a good player, that kid. Oh, he probably already is.
Taps it to his own advantage and then loses it to the advantage of Krosiska. Everything going right for the Magpies. There's a Gavin Brown specialty up and under. Knocked down by Steins. Buckley, hand pass. Francis, Russell, Tony Francis to mop it up for the Pies.
Numbers at the ball again.
And you haven't just seen those two kick to each other over the years. I mean, they're like twins almost. But I tell you, Matty Francis, although he's probably done this very, very silly thing in that second quarter, he certainly has done a terrific job when he's gone back. And he's a very smart play here. He's just tried to tap it on, didn't actually try and grab the ball and just put it into the path of Scotty Russell.
He's just a good competitor, Matty Francis, isn't he?
Big ticker. He broke my collarbone one of the games when he was playing for Richmond. I've never forgiven him.
Chalky bones.
Everybody else is happy with him for that. But look, in the first half, where Melbourne were getting numbers to the fall of the ball in the balls in dispute, now it's Collingwood doing that. I mean, every time the ball's going to a contest of more than just an opponent versus opponent, it's Collingwood outnumbering Melbourne.
4 goals to the little man, Tony Francis. There's his namesake, Matthew Francis, in the middle. Secondary bounce coming up.
Well, sorry, mate.
I was just going to say, Dermy, just Matty Francis Monkey hasn't really got back on with another chance, has he?
No. Sure, he's decided to go without Monk today for the greater part of the match.
That movement forward of both Russell and Francis in front of the ball is more like you expect Collingwood to play, isn't it?
Battle between Steins and Matthew Francis, and the big Irishman gets the free kick. Goes to Viney.
Terrific chase by Pato then.
Good kick by Viney though. Got 60 metres. Michael just slams it onto his foot. Krosiska been very good in the second half. The veteran started his career in '87 with Collingwood. Matthew Francis couldn't get off the ground but took the mark. Gave it to Buckley. He can give it to Wright. Will it set? Bounced on its point. Wright. Snap kick to Watson. Seacamp hot on his hammer. And the ball, does it go over the boundary line? No.
Oh, well, it's my vision. It went out of bounds then.
Well, the boundary umpire was 3 metres away and said no.
I was higher. I could see it.
And you've been eating your carrots, Ned. Matthew Francis, Gavin Krosiska.
He is a rabbit.
Full of run, the Magpies. Centering kick to Rocker. Down on the deck, Anthony Rocker. Cockatoo Collins. Got a shocking bounce. Watson, Anthony Rocker.
Good hands.
Patterson looks for a man. He's got Williams. Play on, said the umpire.
Far enough.
Williams ran around in circles.
That's a good kick.
Wild over his head.
Just ran himself under it, Wildy, then.
Didn't even...
Sab Rocker. Liddell can turn around and kick a goal. Lacks a fortune.
Well, Jason Wild, as you said, Dermy, just didn't pick the fly of the ball up and just went right underneath it. I really think that perhaps Bucks looked for a little bit more than he needed to when he was running in early and tried to give it off to Wright. Created a lot of the problems where he could have just... The guy can kick it 50, 60, 70 metres when he gets onto him, so he should have just had a bang at it.
Wasn't a good handball anyway. If it had been spot on the money, might have got away with it, but wasn't the best option.
It's interesting just watching for the last couple of minutes. There was wherever the ball's gone, it's been overloaded by Collingwood blokes, and that's the way it goes. They tend to be running a lot harder. They've got a lot more to run for right now.
The difference at half-time was 30 points. It's now 40 points in the other way. 70-point turnaround from half-time. Patterson bangs it back. It falls at the feet of Krosiska and Williams. Williams first to it. Wheels around. Can kick off a step. Not a great kick. Falls into the path of Buckley, tries to break the McDonald tackle, had it for a while.
Oh, wonderful tackle, great tackle.
I was fascinated the other night listening to a report where they said Buckley, Williams' disposal to a leading player is about
very low.
Very, very low.
Mark Williams pointed that out from Port Adelaide.
And just then again, we saw it again. Perhaps needs a bit more work on it.
Yeah, he actually doesn't find the man on the lead a great deal, but He doesn't miss many when he's on the run, that's for sure, when he's going for goals. But
he's not bad for going for goal, is he?
He's good at the stationary targets, Barmy, but anybody on the lead, he's probably a 50-50.
Not much happening. Worse than that, I think. He's very ordinary on the short one.
Why is that, do you think? He
so quick. I reckon his legs are going that quickly sometimes that he perhaps doesn't just steady himself up. Says me, who was such a beautiful disposal of the ball.
Gergic. Tap to Patterson. Into the middle, into open spaces. Bounce should favour Anthony McDonald. Right. Got him. Then broke the tackle, McDonald, to Glenn Lovett. Oh. Brett Lovett, he's in trouble. Wild got him. Knocked him off his kick. Shawbull knocked it down to Burns. Over the top to Brown. Up and under from Brownie. Clarkson bats it away. Russell just puts it on his foot. Matthew Francis, has he got anyone to give it to? The answer is no. Matthew Phoebe, dispossessed by his own man. Glenn Lovett goes in to mop up. Throws it out to Phoebe.
Good hand.
Stephen Phoebe to Brett Lovett.
He's got to go deep with that kick.
Good kick, Clarko. He's a bit stiff than Slaughter. Yeah, he's grabbed. Yeah, it's a good decision. Well played.
Play on, he said. And then he said no.
Now, Collo, that one there, I agree with the theory that you can play on it. If it's not an advantage, it should come back. I think that's a sensible rule. There's obviously going to be some grey areas, but when it's a play on, an uncontested play on, and the man gets a shot on goal, it's a point. It's a huge, huge advantage to bring it back.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think in that area there that the player with the ball is the one who's got to decide whether he's going to stop and bring it back, or whether if he plays on and he's clear, they should just let it go.
Just to break.
So look at this kick.
Of 11 goals.
A nice kick, Slaughter. Well done. He was just grabbed on the shoulder as the ball was kicked in. It was a pretty good umpiring. It wasn't, I mean, some of those are a bit soft, but that actually impeded him from going for it, so it's a good decision. I agree with you on that advantage thing. There are times when the player decides, he gets to decide if there's an advantage. And
he's got to wear that, doesn't he, if he misses like that?
It's pretty hard for the umpires to make that, but we really got to get it across. If the fella picks up the ball and goes on, it's his decision.
Tony Shaw barking out the instructions there. Most of them used to be directed at Craig Kelly.
Collingwood had kicked 11 goals on the run before that goal by David Schwartz. Francis trying to bat it away from the middle. Wild charging through. Brett Lovett held in the tackle. Hopgood got it off to Glenn Lovett to Phoebe.
Nice kick. Oh, he should have marked it out. It's all right. Another nice kick. Well done, Richard.
Sean Smith.
Oh, good hands.
Uze. He's a good finisher.
Behind this kick. It's a beautiful kick, but it's just missed.
Now, Barmy, for a bloke, he's got a beautiful kicking action and he hits the ball sweetly. He does tend to not find that. Look there, 44% effectiveness. He just doesn't find the mark as much as somebody with as much obvious talent as him.
No, that's the step he's got to take. He's taken a step this year. He's competing pretty well. He's just got to be a bit better at all the little things he does.
Yeah, but he does have the beautiful kicking action. He hits them sweetly.
He looks good. He's got to take that step.
Burns and Patterson waxing at the back. Ball to the ground. Matthew Francis tried the kick, had a fresh air shot. Glenn Lovett. Williams was coming towards him and missed him. Liddell going back, took a good mark. Taken a couple of good marks at the back since coming on.
He's kicked it over his head.
Shawbull's there. Inside to right. He's got space. Heads towards the boundary and Krasiska.
He's playing on the other wing, so he's covered a bit of territory there.
Kick to Buckley.
Lovely kick. Nice early lead.
Buckley plays on. Centres it towards Sav.
Oh.
Ball on the ground. Uze comes away. Outside the
That's a nice
defensive
kick,
50. Krasiska went back and took a brilliant mark.
Great mark.
He really has turned this game around just by himself, literally, in this second half.
He's been good value coming off the wing, hasn't he?
Burns down the corridor. Steins up one-handed. Francis down on the ground. Got the hand pass away to Patterson.
Good vision.
Patterson, little chip kick. Rocker.
That was smart play then by Pato, because we have been a bit critical of Dermy today, is the fact that he would blaze away a little bit of that goal, but he saw that Sav had led back towards the goal, and then he pushed forward and just put it into the front of him.
He was never going to make the distance from there, being forced out onto his right foot. He would have had to hook foot one back in and he wouldn't have made the distance, so he had the decision almost taken away from him. Severio's got 4 to his credit already. Ned, you won't... you will actually, from where you're sitting. You'll have a pretty good view of this one.
A little bit off to the left-hand pocket for me, but I'll call it 3, mate. The big fella, he's taking a bit more time to look at it. Not something I've told him to do, so hopefully he kicks it, because I'm his kicking coach, and he's put it through. Good boy.
57 goals for the year for Severio Rocker.
And Krasiska and Patterson, the 2 men we've just spoke of in the last 30 seconds, have both had 7 possessions this quarter already.
Well, Gav certainly in that mark he took. Look at that.
And the double catch at the end there.
He never questioned this man's integrity and the size of his heart. I mean, Gavin Krasiska's amazing.
Super bloke, isn't he?
Yep.
He's one of these guys you just have to have at a footy club.
You realise I signed him for Carlton many years ago.
Did you?
Left the form with him and said, now if you change your mind you can rip this up, and because he was interested in Collingwood, and you know what he did?
Ripped it up.
He ripped it up.
Good on him.
Colour.
The only one I let get away.
Collingwood's kicked 14 of the last 16 goals. Anthony Rocker
Rocker.
straight down to Patterson. Buckley. Numbers at the ball. Buckley slow to get up.
Has he
Matthew
hurt him?
Francis chips it towards Sav Rocker, who can kick for his 6th.
Hurt Bucks. It's really, they got sandwiched right in the middle between Neats and didn't pick up the other player, but sort of twist him around a bit, so a little bit sore.
Severio got a bit of space there, Ned, because when the flow of the play went out with Matty Francis, his opponent, Severio's opponent, Ingerson, expected the long bomb. He ran back to the goal line to hopefully touch the ball as it was going to go through, and Severio just led straight up.
But the pressure is off it now, isn't
Yeah.
it, really?
It's good to get Sav over sort of the 5 or 6 goal mark. It'll be great for his confidence. Well done.
That makes it 45 points the difference.
And Brett Lovett leaves the ground. Andrew Obbs returns. Hasn't had a run since Gavin Krasiska on that occasion in the 3rd quarter. Led him out to the boundary line.
He looked better there when he kicked Rocker. He seemed to be more forward when he kicked. He wasn't leaning back as he had in the past.
Here's this bit with Nathan where he gets sandwiched between Waywade and Neats. He must have just twisted him a bit.
And right here, Ingerson, when he saw before Francis turned back in, Ingerson ran back to the goal line. See the distance between the two of them? He thought Francis would keep wheeling around on that right foot and go for goal. So he ran that way. Severio Rocker ran forward. Look at the match goals there. 10 inside 25 for Collingwood.
37,779 people at the MCG today, and the Collingwood supporters amongst them are going to leave happy. Wild got the kick out, went to Neats.
Well, that does justify the transferred match from Vic Park to the MCG, doesn't it?
Always thinking of your job, Collo.
Just couldn't get 37,000 in at Victoria Park.
Gavin Brown got a free kick at the back.
Not legally anyway.
Big fly from Anthony Rocker, and then he got the crumbs. Tries to break the Glenn Lovett tackle. Matty Francis bent down and got it. Snapped it over his shoulder. Up towards Rocker again. This time he was out of the contest. What can Buckley do? Well done, Woden.
Yeah, it would have been very easy for Woden there just to panic under the pressure of Buckley leading him to the ball and fall into his back, or hold him up there and give a free kick, but just contained himself. As we see Sean Charles coming off the ground and returning these David Cockatoo Collins.
Well, Matthew Francis, sorry Pete, Matthew Francis had 6 possessions and 1 mark this quarter, plus all the little things he's done. He's been very good.
And Gavin Brown, David Cockatoo Collins, opposing player, just a little bit settled.
Watson bangs it into the attacking 50. Ball took a hop towards the back of the pack, and Buckley might be able to get a birthday present here.
Yeah, Buckley snaps forward, and as I was saying, Brownie just a little bit more settled as to where the ball is. His opponent just runs straight on the ground. Brownie's still reading it fairly well, whereas when you run straight on, you're wondering what position you run to, and if the ball happens to come down, you're thrown out a little bit. Need a couple of seconds just to find out where you are. Brownie repels the attack, turns it over, and we see Nathan Buckley just running onto the ball.
Neatsy's having one of those days, isn't he? Like, he didn't even go for the ball then. He just tried to block a player, and of course the ball's floated over his head.
He's only had 5 possessions, but you'll see a cut in Nathan Buckley's eye. He's got a really bad eye, and it's not from today's game. It's from training on Thursday night, where Paul Williams gave him one and accidentally opened him up for 12 stitches.
Blood rule for Matty Francis coming off the ground.
Well, obviously Williams got a bit of practice on Thursday for Sunday, did he?
I'm glad you said that. I was nearly going to say that.
Alistair Clarkson in the middle to Steins. Bit of hanging on there.
Bad luck, Gergs. That was a good effort.
Yeah, the umpires saw it too.
Yeah, he nearly took the mark. He held his ground very well. It's one of the hard things to do, particularly for young light kids. He really held his ground and protected where the ball was going to come.
Schwartz a bit slow getting up there. I think it's more fatigue than anything else.
Yeah, just the knee straight into the turf. I think it's the good one there, the right one. The old bursitis, you break the bursa in your knee, you know about it for the rest of the year that you're playing.
Well, again, we've wrapped Gergs up. He is a nice shot at goal, so all he's got to do is kick through this. You guys can see it from there.
Yeah, you're the one who called him the nice shot too, Barmy. And
he hasn't let me down.
Outswinger.
Plenty of right-hand post, just fell in. Nice little kick. He's going to be a good player, this kid. He's just got to come up to the tempo of the game and get a bit stronger, but he's got some terrific talent.
I suppose the good things you look at him at the moment, Barmy, is for a bloke of his size, he's pretty quick and he can take a good grab. He's got good hands.
Oh, yeah, he's a sort of player has got the running ability to play something like midfield or wing, but he's also got the height and the hands to play in a key position. So he's going to be a good player.
That's his second goal for the day and the fourth of his fledgling AFL career, Brent Gergic.
190 centimetres, 6'3" in the Oscar.
Clarkson in the middle, slung by Monkhorst. Stein's got a hand pass and a quick kick. Getting pretty dark here. Michael leading in the race in front of Sean Smith. It's going to be a player, this kid, in the back. Michael. Kick didn't hit the target, Russell. He got back, though. Off the left to Tony Francis. Wright's running for him. Chips it into the middle towards Anthony Rocker. Hopgood, Viney. Always 100% right till the end.
And Collingwood have got lurkers everywhere at the moment. Blokes just sitting out the back looking for a goal. As we see, David Schwartz just run off the ground and Lee Newton's taken his place at full forward.
Numbers at the fall of the ball. Francis, hand pass on to Wild.
Oh, centre it. There are lurkers everywhere, but he's gone direct. There are 4 Collingwood players.
Monkey's back on the field, and he wanted it in the middle, but didn't get it.
That's David needs 6th possession for the day. Not a good enough return. That could be in the back, given the trend of the day, but no.
Russell beaten to it by Phoebe. Glenn Lovett tackled by Watson, and the ball spills to the boundary. And the umpire, Greg Scroop, says chuck it in.
Barmy, Neitz really hasn't found the form yet since he has returned from that broken jaw.
No, he hasn't. In fact, he takes a little while sometimes to get his touch, but I don't think it'll be long. He's a big-hearted kid. He won't be long. I mean, he's not a natural touch sort of player. I mean, he is a good touch player, but he's not that. You know, some blokes who, a Gary Lyon, for example, if he didn't touch the footy for 3 weeks or a month or something,
can still have an effect on the game.
Yeah, whereas needs to work into it. He's more of a worker than a magician.
Bounce there.
Collingwood's developed an aerial supremacy. They're 15 ahead of Melbourne at this stage of the game, so just shows you the Rockers have been grabbing a few.
Good second half, Anthony Rocker. He really has given them something up there in the third quarter when they came out 20 points behind just after half-time. He's really given them some aerial target up forward.
I think the fitness, like we said, has got a lot to do with that, and he's certainly looking a lot fitter in the legs.
Anthony Rocker, 10 marks for the game. Free kick will go to Monkhorst. He got the tap.
They remembered that Memo then.
Kicks into the pocket. Neitz leads to it. Got a shocking bounce.
That's the day, isn't it?
He's having one of those days.
Anthony Rocker on the left.
That is the day.
Yeah.
Sums it up.
Well, it really needed to happen because Gav Kosiska, Monkey didn't seem, but he was on in the middle really by himself, and poor old Nita, he's had one of those days. Don't worry, buddy.
I reckon he ought to be careful driving home tonight.
I'll pick him up and take him home. We see this on the replay, so just a shocking bounce.
There's a saying about the sea, but he's not having a lucky day, Nita. Nothing's going for him.
And I'm sure Monkey would say he planned that ball to bounce that way.
No doubt.
He'd say he put a bit of tweak on that one.
7 goals 3 to 2 goals 2 in this quarter. Collingwood's run home. St Kilda at the MCG. Carlton at the MCG. Essendon at the MCG. Adelaide at Football Park. North Melbourne at the MCG in their last 5.
That sounds pretty easy when you say it fast, doesn't it?
Monkey again to centre half forward. Buckley one hand up. Taylor. They got in each other's way in the end. Woden.
That's a 4-on-3 situation here with Melbourne, so they'll eventually win out.
Buckley was looking for a free kick. Umpire wasn't having any. Viney slaps it away towards the wing. First to it, Gergic. Well tackled.
Well
James
done,
McDonald.
Gergic. Good handball under pressure then. Just put it out in front of Smithy, and there will be.
Good lead by Smith.
Not a good kick though, was it?
Not a good kick.
Smith leading Michael. He won't give up. Paddles it towards the boundary line. Neither will Smith. We've got
It was a good effort by young Michael. Then he had the advantage on his Smith, and he just stuck with him and stuck with him. He's been under a bit of pressure today, and he's come out of it pretty well. He'll be the better for this experience, Michael.
Yeah, you put Michael on the craftier players, I think he struggles a little bit. If you put him on a Gary Lyon, even half fit, he might struggle. But you put him on someone such as Sean Smith, who is really reliant on spring, on pace, on natural attributes, but doesn't really think his way around the ground like Gary Lyon. That's a better matchup for him.
Uze did well there.
But when you think he's come off the rookie list, and he obviously a lot of clubs didn't think he had the ability, so he's come along in leaps and bounds, hasn't he? Really.
They really need somebody around that 6'3" mark of 14.5, 15 stone. Collingwood down back as well.
Well read by Seacamp, spoiled it, but Wright's got it off to Taylor, and Taylor can kick his first goal for the day. No, not with that.
It was quite dumb play there by Jason Taylor, because really he let his player into who was Seacamp into where Monkey was by himself, and rather than taking a play away from the free man when Damien Monkhurst, and they would have made that a lot easier to score a goal. He still should have finished then, though.
Made it even dumber by that shocking kick at the end, wasn't it?
16 goals to 3 after half-time for Collingwood. Kick out goes from Phoebe to Ingerson. Doom, you've often described the Magpies as schoolyard bullies when they get on top of you.
Oh,
they showed it today.
Yeah, once they get on top, they just... Ooh, there's no remorse. If they get on top, they'll just put the nail right through you.
Which has only been this last year. Previous to that, never used to happen.
Steins, Hopgood and Obbs combined. Sean Smith had a couple of grabs at it, couldn't bring it to the ground.
Yeah, should have marked that, Smith. It was a nice kick.
Watson at the back.
Patterson lining up for his 10th possession of the last quarter. He's got a loose man on in Wild if he uses him.
That's a good kick.
Headed towards him.
Got 3 running onto that, Collingwood. The first half they wouldn't have had any.
Yeah.
And they messed it up and gave it to Steins.
Well, the first half,
That's
Smithy would have
consistent.
marked it and be kicking for goal.
Clarkson to Anthony McDonald. Uze. Seacamp up in the middle. Monkey's on him. Kicks it long. Newton, free kick to Collingwood.
Yes.
Oh, a bit of both that way. But it's really, if they're doing it both, Collo, it's really just the first person that makes the action.
Well, actually, if whoever the umpire sees doing it first.
Yeah.
Krasiska really
he was in a good position to see that.
Yeah,
he was right in front.
Front and centre, and both hands were to the front of the jumpers of the opposition players.
Krasiska, the catalyst for perhaps the Magpies' comeback in the second half. A bit of basketball going on there. Taylor flicks it over the back, and Wright can run. Gets a shepherd from Paul Williams inside. He's had 4 bounces.
It was a clever bit of play by Taylor then.
Yeah, all right. That's
Rocker.
right. He did a lot better then.
Drop the mark, Sav Rocker. Anthony Rocker gets it back, goes onto his left foot and hits the behind
Actually,
post.
They all worked well then. Anthony Buckley led hard out, made space for Anthony Rocker to run into. Anthony led hard out, and then Severio then led into the gap as well, but just unfortunately dropped the ball. That's his great game for Anthony. It's probably been the best one all year. Well, it definitely has been.
You think about Collingwood at half-time, 4 goals to their credit, and you were thinking, where are they going to kick them from? There's the final siren. Todd Viney, the old warrior.
Sav just got knocked. Oh, he almost got knocked out then. Sorry, but he got one right in the jaw and looked like it knocked him out.
Very slow getting up, Sav Rocker, but he's got the consolation of a 6-goal performance to make him feel a bit better. But he doesn't look too good.
He's gone. He's got the old jelly legs. He is.
Have a watch of this.
You can't see it there. The elbows.
I reckon it's the clash of heads.
Yep.
Yeah, when they've just actually his head's hit the ground as well.
Viney's head was resting on him, and as they both fell to the ground, just the impact of the ground on one side of Severio's head and Viney's weight behind his cranium on the other side has squashed his head there.
16-goal second half. That's not bad, is it?
Yeah, fantastic second half. Let's go down to Andrew Moe, who's got Tony Shaw out in the ground.
Thanks very much, Dermot. Well, that was a sensational second half.
Oh, yeah, look, it just didn't work. I think we were sort of built up for the whole bloody week because, we haven't been playing good footy and they've had Steins in the paper all week and they just sort of went back into their shell. As soon as they started playing again to the system, we kicked scores like that, but they'll say it was only Melbourne, and we've got to wear that.
But of course it's more than that, because at half-time when you're 5 goals down in a half a footy against anybody, it's going to be hard to come back, and yet the second half they were a completely different side.
Well, unbeknownst to a lot of people, we lost Chrissy Curran in the seconds today with a broken jaw, and his name was brought up, and Crowe looks like it's going to be the year. Both those players were brought up at half time about how much they love playing footy, and now they're not going to have it. And I think, whether that's it, that's an emotional side of it, but they just play good footy.
Do you see that have an effect on your blokes when you use that sort of stuff? Are they the sort of side that does need to be emotionally switched on to play the sort of footy they played in that second half?
I think everybody's got to get to an emotional point, but if you know those two characters, Curran and Crowe, they're just great within our club, and these blokes respect them that much. And whether that was it, I don't know. Just they play good footy, but hopefully it was a little bit there, and hopefully Chrissy and Crowe will probably be in hospital tonight. They can see it and say, well, the boys did a little bit.
And will you blokes make an effort to get along and see them tonight? And
bloody hope we will. We love those blokes and their characters, so look, we play some good footies. We played some shocking footy. I don't know. We've got to get a balance and hopefully do it week in, week out.
Congratulations, mate. Well played in the second half. Back to you, Doom.
Thanks, Andrew. And final scores as we wrap up here at the MCG. Melbourne 12-10-82. Went down by 52 points to Collingwood 20-14-134. We're going to take a break here and be back with our final wrap-up.